Hey, welcome back to Metropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is June 9th, 2026. It's a Tuesday afternoon. I trust you all are well. I have disabled my teleprompter, so now I'm staring into a black screen in front of a lens. It seems good. The eye contact is really good, but now I just won't be able to read chat all stream. So we can say really whatever you want. There'll be no repercussions. Today is the day. It's literally the purge. So embrace it. It'll be good. Perfect timing, Joel. How's it going? Hush, the only card that can save us. I'm pretty sure we're not playing it today. Oops. How good is it right now? It's probably still pretty good. I don't think it feels like it's as important as it was, but every matchup has a good Hush target. Hey, Aurora. How's your Tuesday? How you doing? I'm so glad Tuesday streams are back. Safer. Me too. This is our third or fourth one in a row. I think we got a couple more in us, huh? Summer of George or whatever. Hey, Lynn. Stopping for the algo. Have a good stream. Thank you. Thanks for dropping in. You're going to have to catch a stream in the VOD because I'm off the locals, but I hope you have fun. Hey, thank you, Lucy. Hopefully things are going well. If you don't know, Lucy ran the NRO tournament this weekend, found some bugs, is working on the next set, so things are good. I wish I had Hush every time someone shows up with Wayland. What are you hushing? Like, the event horizons are okay. I think I've seen a bit more Pharoses in the wild than I have in a long time. I can't hush a Miyoshu, so that doesn't help. I was not expecting it, and then I get pleasantly surprised, and it's amazing. Yeah, maybe Logjam. I don't know. I feel like I have only seen mid-range barriers, and you can deal with them, I guess. Yeah, Event Horizon's okay. Logjam is like, okay. You lower 4 strength off Logjam. Is that worth a card slot? I mean, like, maybe. Hey, Witch, how's it going? It looks like someone has subscribed to YouTube, so you gotta know when things go live. Safer, that's good. Hey, Brendan, I'm off to work. Allowed a plumber to fix all of my everything. Give him hell. I mean, that's a qualified plumber. Hopefully it's not too bad. Grendel, good morning. And Preachy, what's up? So this weekend we had some Netrunner. It was, I think, only one major event this weekend in terms of like mega cities. Apologies if I'm forgetting something, but it was the last Canadian mega cities, the West Coast mega cities. I haven't had the time to sit down and watch it, but it was streamed. At least the top to the second day I know is streamed, and it's streamed on, mind you, link in the description once we're done with the stream. But it's streamed on Sundarian RP's channel. This is Alex's channel. There's a whole bunch of commentators throughout the day. I didn't hear Phil and Cephalopod, but I think I heard like Ultra Filter and Chenchling later on. So you can watch it. It looks pretty good. It's clean. Shout out to whatever Phantom Alley is, but I think they streamed the last one as well as of last year. I think this is just, day 2 in Top Cut, if I'm not mistaken. But you got to watch it. It's good gameplay. The colors are nice. Yeah, it's nice. The commentary is remote, which I think is like totally fine. I like that a fair bit. And so you get to see like a lot of big names up there in the Top Cut, like Sokka, of course. Yeah, a lot of folks up there. Subscribed. And definitely subscribe with notifications. I think you're the only channel in my notification bar. Oh, wow. I'll take that. We the execs definitely talk too loud in every conversation. Hey, London. Really good. Just got back to see most listened to band in 2026 thus far tonight in my little city. Is thus far tonight the name of the band, or do you not want to share the name of the band? But if they're in your little city, that's incredible. If it's not a place that a lot of people like drop in. Hey, Roy, how's it going? Ordered System Gateway Remastered. What other sets should I buy first? Ooh, that's a good question. I think a lot of people say that the next thing you should pick up is Elevation. So Elevation is meant to be kind of like the compendium, the companion piece to System Gateway. So Elevation gives agendas to every faction, which is nice. It fleshes out everything. You get 14 new IDs, so the ID pool opens up a fair bit. This is meant to be like the second part when it comes to Netrunner, the second part to System Gateway. In fact, there's a format which is not very popular, but a format called the Core format, which is basically just System Gateway plus Elevation, and that is really nice. Like, I think if Netrunner was ever to be a board game box, this is probably what would be in the board game box alongside some tokens. So that's probably where I'd go from there. From that point forward, it actually gets a bit interesting which way you want to go, because there's like 2 other formats that people play in this game. And mind you, what matters most is how you play this game. So if you're not going out to organized play, which I'd highly recommend you do, if you're just like, at home playing tabletop with some friends, you can't go wrong really going any direction. But in terms of the stuff that I'd recommend from there's 2 different paths. So first path is if you want to get into Startup. Startup is a smaller format than Standard, not that much smaller, but smaller. And so Startup is just Core, so what we talked about, System Gateway and Elevation, and then the latest set. So it'd be like Vantage Point at this point, which just came out a month and a half ago, which is a pretty new set. It's pretty great. I would maybe recommend getting Vantage Point. I mean, Vantage Point is fine. It's a good package. I think the other two that I'd recommend, and again, you can't go wrong, is that I would either recommend getting the Ashes cycle, and the Ashes cycle is Null Signal Games' first cycle. It's Downfall and Uprising. They have some of the most important cards in the standard format. I'll be honest, some of them are important in like ways that I don't like, but these cards have been around since like 2020, I think 2019 even. Maybe 2020, 2021 is accurate. And some of them are like backbone economy cards, for better for worse, for a lot of different factions. You can't go wrong with it. It's not like perfect because it was their first set, and so like understanding their design intentions, that has changed over the last 6-7 years, so that's different. If you don't want to go that way, the one I'd actually recommend is picking up the Borealis cycle, which is Parhelion and Midnight Sun. And I think specifically for a newer player, those two cycles have very focused mechanics. Unlike Vantage Point, the last set, which is a grab bag of different things, this set, Borealis, is like really focused on basically like every runner has a keyword. So Anarchs introduce Sabotage, and then you get like a lot of Sabotage cards, which means if you want to build a Sabotage deck, you have all the tools and more. So it really does railroad you in a single direction, and it's a good direction. Like we have Sabotage, we have Mark, and on the Shaper side, it's okay, it's called Charge. But those are they're like very focused packages that for newer players, it's really easy to deck build and deck build well. Like you do build good decks out of it. So these are more focused than any other cycle. There's some really great cards on them as well. Not that any cycle doesn't have, but I think I'd recommend that way. Firstly, definitely pick up Elevation. Then from that point, I'd either pick up the newest set, Vantage Point. I'd pick up the Ashes cycle, which is like the most integral set to a lot of standard Netrunner, or I would pick up Borealis, which is just good focused fun. You can't really go wrong though, and sorry if that was overwhelming. It's never that simple, isn't it? Hey PMK, we're doing well. Mega City slapped. Yo, did you go out? How was your experience? Hey, this footage looks familiar. Hey Sandaran, congratulations on the weekend. How did it end up going? Ashes would give you the best runner ID ever. Yes, exactly. Hey Axie, yeah, Ashes is like surprisingly, it's like super important for this game, and then you can play the best ID ever. Yeah, free host. But yeah, it's definitely as. What do you mean 2A Warlock? The big advantage of using established format for at-home play is you get a ban list and know that cares keeping and getting the format balanced. Yeah, that is worth saying. It's like different formats have different balance lists. So if you want to play standard, which is in fact like if you want to buy everything, you can play standard. And very importantly to know, you can proxy in this game. You don't have to buy cards. You can proxy whatever you want. If you want to play a standard format, it has its own ban list, so you know it's balanced. Startup, which is its own format, which is smaller, has its own ban list. It's not as popular as standard in terms of like going out to organized play, I guess, depending on your region, but like standard is what major NSG organized play happens in. So yeah, you can go different ways, but otherwise it's the Wild West if you just play, whatever makes sense on your kitchen table. Gyro, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Definitely depends on how you want to engage with Netrunner. But I think if you're just expanding your collection, I discovered I'd do System Gateway Elevation, yeah, Vantage Point, Borealis cycle, Liberation cycle, Ashes. Interesting. I would maybe say Ashes is a bit higher, but I agree. It's like not the, and I think a big part of it, which is worth keeping in mind, is Ashes is very old. So it has definitely the worst art because it was like before Null Signal Games was working with professional artists. Like parts of Ashes look not good. And like, it's been 7 years, like things have gotten way better, but yeah, maybe a lot of people won't be as excited about Ashes as much as some of the cards are really important. Ashes is critical to standalone play, but worse it's on the own. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, I would definitely go for Vantage Point Borealis. I think Borealis really pushes you in the right direction, and almost all of its mechanics are really fun to explore. It's good. It was great. I was stressed leading up, but the weekend itself was fantastic. Heck yeah. It was a 2-day event. The stream was nice. Like I reckon everything went well. Is there anything that you were upset with how it went? And specifically call out names, please. I think where I struggle to answer this question is if you want to play standard, it is this realistically you want all sets and you don't want to do it at one time. You just proxy missing pieces. Yep. And I agree. It's like if you see 1 or 2 cards in like Automotive Initiative, you can just proxy them until you eventually pick up the set if you do want it. Hopefully that answers your question. It takes a village, but yeah, that's probably what I'd recommend. I'd definitely recommend picking up Elevation first because it is part 2, and then from there. Hey Beepix, how's it going? How's Wednesday? Cool. Don't buy this stuff. Can you buy this stuff actually? They don't sell this anymore. Yeah, no, they don't. Do they sell this? No. Do they? Wait, can I buy this with my money? No upsets. I was so happy for Laura. She came in second. She came second year. People love the Let Them Dreams. Got a cube draft, which is my favorite. Heck yeah. You got a cube draft at your own event? That's incredible. Wait, oh, startup format. Okay, beyond startup. What about beyond? No, you can't. I don't think you can buy them anymore. No, you can't. That makes sense. I would give a new player Ashes. Has a bunch of core cards for competitive standard. Isn't that useful to new players on the kitchen table where it also has a huge amount of terrible cards? I wouldn't give Ashes a new player. Yeah, I'd have to look at the cards. It does have some really bad cards if you want to play like Jinteki, but I don't know. It's really hard to be like, show up. Oh, you don't have, you know, daily casts, companions. There must be a criminal card they printed that's not as. Yo, Team Cap, how's it going? They don't have them in stock. They keep the PDF up for Magnum and System Update for historical purposes. They posted something about it a while ago. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense that they don't keep stock. I wonder if you can still find them somewhere. But yeah, I guess you can. The number of important standard cards and assets is honestly kind of small. Yeah, maybe we should have like a reality check here. Netrunner DB. So how many cards of Ashes see play versus don't see play versus are important? So if we go to set, we go to all of Ashes, which is, it's an, okay, I can't be the first person. All of my life, like until like relatively recently, I thought the Ashes symbol, like the set symbol, was Fencer Fueno. I'm not joking. It took me like 6 years, I think, before it's pointed out that the Ashes set symbol is in fact not Fencer Fueno. I thought it was Fencer Fueno. You kind of see from the face, 2 eyes, ears, and a horn. Yeah, it is a beanstalk. It technically is like a space elevator. But again, I want to be very clear. I have always thought it's Fencer Fueno. Wait, it's not? No, it's not. I thought it was Fencer Fueno, which like sick mascot, Ashes. I thought it was big with a top. Definitely feels like a beanstalk. It has to be the beanstalk considering the theme, but yeah, weird. It isn't what you thought it was. Oh, all right. Cards that are like, I would say quintessential. There's still going to be like good cards here. Like Mega Pre-Qualifier is a good card. Bass is an important card. Architect Deployment Test. These are all fine cards. But when we talk about cards that are like indispensable in the meta, I think that's what we want to be a bit, you know, when stock. We want to be a bit specific about. So far, HB cards, none of these incredibly matter. I would say Drafter is the first like staple card in the set. Again, Hagen and Tier. Hagen at some point was a staple, Tier not so much, but Drafter is definitely a staple card. Red level clearance and fully operational, I would say are staple cards, and Tranquility is a staple card. So again, this is over 2 products, so like you still have to spend a fair bit of money to get through these 4. It looks like almost all, no, Drafter's in the back half, same with Tranquility. So it looks like there's an even split, but we're at like 4 HB cards. Yeah, Drafter, fully up, ROC, Trank, I totally agree on that. When it comes to Jinteki, you'd say Sting if you could, but you don't. Jinteki's gonna be pretty bad. Saisentan used to be at some point. Gladly, people are not playing it, which is pretty happy. Just Lacosta. It's like literally 1 Jinteki card in a 130 card set block. That's not great. NBN. NBN's in a really weird spot. Obviously, Blown is banned. I would say Daily Quest could be it in a world where NBN has mid-range Glacier, but they don't, so we won't. Wow. Unfortunately ganked. Unfortunately just ganked. We'll be able to see the full stream live, but looking forward to replay. Yo, Paul, hopefully you're well. Sorry we had to push the thing last week. Yeah, hopefully you've been good. Other than Anger and Flush, Jinteki is ass. Yeah, that's been banned as well. I'm so happy the Alliance main is to play oversized sometime. Me too. I'd rather face check into Alliance main, even though the face check is usually worse. I'm planning to use Bangoon as my first corp deck because I love the theme, plus the gunship on the art is so cool. Is this still good to use, especially for a beginner? No, sort of. So, Bangoon, hold on, I'll get derailed slightly. We'll go back to this conversation. But Bangoon, I wouldn't say it's great for a newer player because firstly, Bangoon is not specifically doing anything particularly well. So I can't push you in a direction to be like, this is a good Bangoon deck that you can like mirror. The problem is like Bangoon presents a lot of problems to your opponent, and how good your deck performs is largely dependent on how good your opponent is more than most other identities. So you're gonna learn a lot maybe, but a lot of it is in the hand of your opponent. Yeah, Bangoon like attacks the runner in different ways, which is kind of interesting. So you get explore your maybe like 2 win conditions, but it definitely would be very far from my first like recommendation. Is Bangoon good? I think Bangoon is better than the amount of play it sees, but it's definitely not like an obvious deck you should give to someone to learn. Hey, Wenchong, how's it going? There's also something to be said about aiming new players at sets with consistently good art and narrative. Yeah, which is like the Ashes problem for sure. Neuro Bangoon is fairly linear and easy to learn. All 1-pointers Bangoons isn't, and I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, I mean, maybe you could do full combo deck. I feel like doing full combo deck in like is not like, I also don't think that just jamming a 5-3 in a remote server and playing 2 Neuro Spikes is good learning Netrunner, right? Was OTG this weekend? Wait, was OTG this weekend? More importantly, is Bangoon fun? It can be, but I also think Bangoon could be the most unfun. It depends on your opponent. You can also play Bangoon as a straight up rush ID, sure, but I think you'd be better off playing BTL probably. What are we playing together? We're probably going to be playing Stealth Criminal is my guess. Yeah, OTG's next weekend, right? Unless you're congratulating Wenjong for last OTG, I guess. Bangoon, in my experience, is the deck that punishes mistakes really hard, but can't make plays or increase complexity, as they say. Yes, I think that's a really good way of saying it. And Lady Duckland plays a lot of Bangoon. We even played against her playing Bangoon like last week. But it really does put a lot of power in your opponent. And if your opponent makes all the right plays, you don't have a lot of right plays. The Midwest Championship is OTG, I think, but that's next week. I think Wenjong won it last year. So what you said, Lazy, is technically correct. I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's look at Wayland. Hopefully that answers your question, B-Bix, but it's not. I would not push Bangoon anywhere near to be the first like deck to get into, but you could, and you would be like on the cutting edge of Bangoon explorers. It's not super common. It was originally going to be the past weekend, but it changed. Oh, okay. Okay, Wayland. I would say STS drone deployment is technically a core Wayland card. I would say Afshar kind of is, Winchester kind of is, but you could definitely play standard without these two and not be in a huge bad spot. I do want to say that Trebuchet might be important if you play bad pub, but I don't even know if the remoteless wiki decks are running 3 Trebuchets. Wall-to-wall is pretty important. I don't think it is that anymore. It definitely was good, and when you could play Wayland Assence, it was really good. But I don't think wall-to-wall has been in a deck that has mattered over the last like 6 to 9 months. Yeah, Bivik, sorry, it's probably not the advice you want to hear, but like if you look online, there's no Bangoon decks, and there's a reason why, right? Trebuchet is bad. I don't think it's bad. It has bad publicity on it. Those W cards are skippable on a budget. Yeah, on a budget, like wall-to-wall is not the most important card to get out. Trebuchet is a trap even in bad pub decks. I think from what I've seen so far, that does line up with it. I don't think we've seen all of it in all the bad pub decks. Wow, Wayland is really bad. Wayland is just 153 agenda. And it's not even the best Wayland 5-3 agenda in the standard format. Wall-to-wall is really good IMO. We just don't have Wayland assets. Yeah, exactly. But you need Wayland assets, but also like too many assets makes it less good. Like I totally agree with you, but also yeah, weird. NAB Corden, my favorite neutral card in this set. Yeah, no, honestly, yeah, maybe not a good pickup so far. On the runner side, unfortunately, Anarch for the last 6 years has been based on this set and has been suffering because of its straightforward, silly success. And that sucks. Like, how many of these cards are the most important cards in Anarch decks? And they have been the most important card in Anarch decks for the last 6 years. Literally half of them. Like, it's such a different story. Moshing is banned, of course. Keiko is unfortunately so good. Devil Tremor is one of the most important cards in the last meta, shaping ban list. Hoshiko just got banned. Gachapon is the way that you give consistency to a faction that should have zero consistency, and we are seeing one of Breaker Anarch decks being the best in format, kind of messed up. Criminal can't even do that anymore. Chisel's really important. Stargate probably is better than it's played, but it used to be very important. Fencer, Fueno, Taka, Paladin, Puemo, Mystic Miami are all of some of the best econ cards in the whole game. And what do they ask from you? Very little. What did they give you? 12 credits if you put them down on turn 1? What the fuck, Ashes? What the heck? I think the Ashes cycle is only important to get if you want to play Anarchy. That might be true. Criminal, Leah Bravado. That's really important. If you play as Boomerang is important. It feels like less important than it's been in a while for some reason. After Image is important if you're playing Stealth. It seems to be the best Stealth payoff in the format. Prognostic Culip is the coolest card in the game, so do with that as you will. Class Act is also a key Criminal card, and Penumbral is seeing a bit more play than has. Same with Bachlan, but yeah, Criminal has good cards. They're just not as consistent as Anarch, which is like half of all the cards, if not more. Shaper, I'm not going to mention in the group. Harmony actually is seeing play. Simulchip is incredibly important. Onacom is incredibly important. Lat is arguably important, but you don't have to play Lat if you don't want to. Yeah, Oiler's okay, I guess. Moose Safecracker is the best stealth win con. I don't agree with that. I mean, you're getting close to some truth there, but I don't fully agree with it. Leave Ashes Anarch alone. No, it needs to be thrown in a fire. Netrunner cannot be cool with Ashes Anarch being in the game for this long. Literally, they can't print a good Anarch card without it being like, what the heck? Like every Anarch set we've seen has just been mini faction support because they can't print Anarch cards. SMC technically is really important. Buffer Drive is really important. Daily Cast and Dream Net's important if you play one Criminal. Skimming over Zeki, it's banned. It doesn't matter. I mean, like, it's not bad, but actually there's a big chance. Yo, Ultrafilter, how's it going? Just skipping, yeah. If it was like 2 influence, I'd also consider some asset lists just because Pad Campaign or CRS Campaign effectively was actually good numbers. It's super niche. It does res cheaper. Wall-to-wall 1 influence and you see it everywhere. 3 influence is a non-asset faction at the moment. Yeah, it is expensive. But if we look at like some of the other, like what are the hit rate on other things? Like let's look at this set. Borealis, the set I would recommend sooner, probably, the Ashes. Ashes ending with Hoshiko's the idea I sleep. Ashes ending with Lu is the idea real shit. It's no different. All right, so now, if we look at the next cycle, which, mind you, this cycle was much more focused on sub-themes. So, like, a lot of these cards won't be universally playable cards because they are sub-theme universally playable. Like, Ontological Dependencies no play unless you're playing core damage, and then you need this card in your deck to probably have a game. And, like, that's really important. That's the different way that Borealis works over Ashes cycle, but do keep that in mind. That being said, some of these cards don't see a lot of play. In fact, the Ice Suite, not my favorite, but Ontological is important. Elevigao is really important. Nightmare Archives, unfortunately, is really important. And Midnight 3 Arcology can and will be important, and has been. Don't talk about Thule. Big Deal, technically important. Jupstat, that is more important based off of your win con. Oh my god, these Jinteki agendas are absurd. Blood in the Water, Regenesis, and Hybrid release are 3 agendas in the cycle is really, really, really good. Now, even better now in 2026, but yeah, that's an absurd set of agendas to get in this. Then you have, oh my god, yeah, these are good. Bladderwort's incredible, Moonpool's incredible, Vengeance Keeling is banned, Reaper Function is arguably incredible, Anemone is incredible. Ivik might see a bit more play in the future. Hafra and Vampire is still pretty good. Get rid of Mitosis and Simulation Reset, but Mavirus is a very unique card. It's 100% different, man. Hoshiko's the absolute most sauceless idea ever printed, and I'm thrilled she's gone. I mean, you're just kind of, no, you took Hoshiko's mask off, and instead of getting a card and a credit, you have to trash a card to get a card and a credit. You have a smaller deck size. It's the same. What does your ID do? Get a card and a credit when you run. Okay. Like, you're right, but honestly, I think Hoshiko's more interesting because it gives you a reason not to run, which in Netrunner we barely have had. Like, I don't know. Hoshiko has a mini game. Lu just needs to touch cards. I don't know. Obviously, you have to trash something. Buffer Drive wasn't playable for so long. Kind of wild to call it important now, but it is very, very important. It was largely a brick for a long time. It took a while for like the meta to be sure of that. But then once we started seeing Audrey and actually, you know, playing those cards, it started to matter. And now it even matters more, it feels, because any of the Audrey lists are usually running 2 buffer drives because they don't have a way to reset their deck. It's so more important. If I wanted to play minigames, I play Mario Party. You don't know what to tell you. The game is a mini game. Putting a mini game in the game is the best thing you can do. I don't understand this Mario Party comment. Anyways, Lu has a smaller deck size. Very funny, Ruben. Hosh is more interesting than Lu. Agreed. Yeah, Hosh is way more interesting than Lu. It's so much more interesting. Lu's, it's just like, oh, I hope they have assets, or I hope I have my Gourmand. Like, oh, I'm running R&D. Really hope it works out. Like Hoshiko, you have to decide to tactically take a turn off, and your opponent can be like, I think she's going to take a turn off this turn. Like, it's way cooler, I think. Flip IDs rock. Play Marvel Champions. All right, it's NBN. Not off to a great start, honestly. Fewer decks in Epiphany are actually playing Crypto Crash just because the Revanchulate seems to do what this wants to do and allows you to play a better agenda in that suite, which is an interesting thought. FOI technically is meta relevant, did win Worlds. Post-Truth is maybe a deck at some point, and Drago got banned, but Check is like not worth getting, but it is a notable card for sure. Hosh just start on the other side, then it's fair. I don't have any comments about that. I mean, these cards aren't bad, but they're not like faction staples. It's like Messney's good, Unsmiling is good, Gaslight is good, but they're in weird spots. They're different. It's more and more thinking Hosh got banned because they need DreamNet to make Vic work. I think Hosh getting banned was ultimately like, okay, so Hosh is probably over Curve. She's also been around forever, and she's been the Anarch deck, and like the same Anarch deck has been like competing for Worlds for, I don't know, like 4 years or whatever, right? It's probably good that she's gone. It's the same way that like now Sable is gone, people play different criminals. You can say whether that's a success or not. Now the issue is like you just moved the Hosh deck to Lu, but like, is it less powerful or less consistent? Probably is. I don't know. But yeah, I think that she just left. I think Vic needed DreamNet to work, and you can argue whether that's true or not, like whether that even happened. Would every flip ID be more balanced if we started on the flip side? I mean, some of them would be more fun if we started on the flip side. Tron, how's it going? I agree with that. All right, shipment from Vlad, actually really important. One of the best NBN tag punishment, unfortunately. NBN doesn't have a lot of single tag punishment that actually is worth anything in the modern format. Like, you can get blown out by a bigger picture, but that's kind of it. And Vlad Grid is important now, but like, honestly, none of these cards are incredibly essential, but I do think that says more about NBN not being incredibly essential as a whole. Earth Station Flip Rush, hell yeah. Yeah, Earth Station Flip would actually be kind of sick, because then you have to protect HQ, but you still have the remote server. Like, I'm kind of in for it. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Dewey's the only one that I really think needs to be on the other side. No, Dewey on the other side would be cool. I think that would be more fun because you want to run on turn 1. But Earth Station Flip means that the game isn't like a slow dirtle. Like that's kind of cool. Like you have a target on turn 1. I could see that being okay. Do we have any other flip IDs? Yo, Laura, how's it going? Congratulations on the weekend. Yeah, Dewey should start flipped, right? If we put in enough votes, NSG will do something. They promised. All right, Wayland Azef is very important. Seemingly less so now that we don't have Omp. Regulatory capture should be discarded. I mean, banned Maskarovka, very good. Stavka, very good. Like the Wayland Ice here is really, really quite good. Hostile Architecture is an important card, but the Ice here is good. Like you definitely need good Ice in a small card pool, and having Maskarovka and Stavka is a really good boon. Those are quite nice. Okay, some of these cards are banned. End of line, I guess that does matter if you have a small card pool because single tag damage now matters. I think Zato is going to be better than it looks in this meta. I think Zato is probably in a good spot, and then I don't care too much about Mad. Hey, Luna, how's it going? Damn, skipping right over Super Deep Borehole. You know it, because we haven't talked. Did we skip over Pinhole threading yet? No, we're getting to it. On the Anarch side, so again, this is now subtypes. So you're going to see a lot of sub cards that are attached to, you know, a themed mechanic. So they don't always make sense outside of the themed mechanic, but Steelskin Scarring is incredible. Finality is very good. Raindrops is incredible. Obviously, this stuff is sabotage support, and if it's all good usually, which is true. Time Bomb hasn't always proven to be worth anything. Hush is really good. Unfortunately, these breakers with people with horns haven't been that great, and Light the Fire is okay. The twinning, please, we need more cards. Banhar obviously got banned too. We're reviewing every set. I was going to stream snipe you. Yeah, we're reviewing every set, but we have to build the deck. So we usually start with news on Tuesdays. So it's going to be a while until we actually play some games. A Wild Sea game in like an hour? I don't know what Wild Sea is. It sounds like a tabletop RPG, right? I'm doing okay. Good to hear. A Criminal. Pinhole, Carpe Diem, Reprise. Reprise is actually like a meta relevant card at this point, which is largely because people are playing Moosey Hot. But like this is technically one of the most powerful effects in the game, and it is like, I don't know if it's a feast or famine mode, but like Criminal just seems like if this doesn't land, I don't know if they can win games. So that's wild, really wild. You always forget Virtuoso exists. Criminal consoles. Let's talk about criminal consoles, huh? When's the last time that we've had a criminal console that's worth playing? Outside of Hermes, it's like every criminal console is so hyper cursed. Like Virtuoso, obviously before Hermes, cursed. Then we have Hermes. Then we had Detente, which clearly at some point was good, and then playtest was like no. And then we have the phone, which is like, it's so rough. Like I don't know a faction that's more cursed to have a bad console slot. Like Shaper used to be that in FFG land until they got Astrolabe, and then years later it got corrected. But like every criminal console has sucked since like Hermes and after Hermes. Penny Shaper was okay. Yeah, Penny Shaper wasn't the worst, but like, man, Hermes is such a slot issue. Like I don't know how you're meant to play anything else when you have one of the most impactful cards in a limited slot in the whole faction. Like it is a bummer. And now we have to enter some weird Cold War where if you want your console to be good, it is an RPG, a splash of nautical nonsense and post-apocalypse. Oh, very cool. Grim Console's trying to stand up to Hermes, difficulty impossible. It's rough. It really is rough. I'll never recover from getting double reprised. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's bad when it happens. I have many opinions about Wild Sea, but I think I can summarize as I wish. Oh, I'm not going to read that. Hopefully you have a good time, Luna. Swift is okay. I mean, okay is not good enough for a limited slot, right? Metronome published her list, and it's really funny how because I just want to show this because of the memes in it, because she put a lot of effort into this. Hold on, we'll just find it really quickly. We'll do deck lists, we'll do search, and we'll search by a card. We'll just search Swift. And like, I think she did well. Yeah, Oregon Donor, 7th Queen of Swiss at Summer Showdown. So she did really well in Swiss. But then you have this is basically deep dive Moosey Hot with a single deep dive. And then you have 3 Swift to get your click back, which like it would make sense in Moosey Hot. You're playing run events. Why not play Swift? And then there's like a lot of good memes here. One dead in the hoverbike crash reminds that the Red Public hoverbikes are too fast. And then you get the Animorphs of the double deep dive Swift becoming single deep dive twinning Swift into double twinning Hermes. And it's like, yeah, I've been there. I think a lot of people have been there. Shout out to Swift in Shaper, which is actually one of my favorite versions of that, because you could deep dive in Shaper now consistently when he needed it. But yeah, like this is a very much learned experience. You can try it out, and I have no doubt the same conclusion. You'll morphin. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Penny Shaper, that's it. I don't know. It's hard. It's really, really hard. And I don't know what you do about that, because Hermes is it's a bit much. It's absurd. It's an absurd card. Very cool. I was building a girls list around Zion, was interested in Rotary until I realized that Hermes is overpowered. I mean, that's about it. Like, It's cool in Zaya they can see more cards with your console, but the thing is like there's other ways to see more cards, right? Your console slot is very limited. If your console slot just allows you to see more cards, you can play other cards that allow you to see more cards. Swift rocks. I mean, I'm glad there's fans. It's good that there's fans. Daytona Rotary were good at some point. I have no doubt Daytona was good at some point. Rotary, I could see it also being good at some point. Zaya isn't a great idea for girls. I'm not a big girls expert, but I don't know. Hermes is definitely undercosted. Yeah, Hermes could cost one more. It'd be totally fine. Anyways, Revolver, Chesva, staples. You can argue Awakened Planet is a staple. Technically is. It's shown up in criminal decks consistently. It's a shame that Zenith chip doesn't see more play or Panweave, but taking damage in criminal sucks. I mean, NFL is a tech card that's worth something, but a lot of these cards don't matter. I guess we have to talk about the video that we put up on Monday because Tunnel Vision showed up and it broke a piece of ice. And I do want to say, like, man, Tunnel Vision. I'm not a girls expert. This card annoys me so much because I can't see this being played and not thinking that it is causing me to do bad things to myself. Like, you cannot put a card in your deck that says you only run this. Okay, like, so when Sable was around, Sable got a mark. And the cool thing about Sable is like good players can figure out how to make the mark to work. That's fine. That's like a really interesting thing about Sable that you could argue doesn't exist with Moosely Hot. It's like the good Sable players can make a bad mark make sense. And that was good fun. That was interesting, right? Like if you ran R&D, which you were going to run R&D, but you got a click back, that's actually very like a good rebate. So you would make it make sense. But when it's like the only way I can interact is if my breaker tells me I can interact, that is like the total opposite of the mark RNG that I want, right? Like you have a deck that only has Tunnel Vision and you're holding a transfer of funds in hand. That's it. Like, I don't get it. I've seen so many games where Tunnel Vision hits the table and it causes like really, I would say, suboptimal play patterns because you don't control the dogs control you. It's like such a good name for a card, but I can't put it in a deck because when I put it down, I think it's like, dude, the title was meant to tell you this is not what you were meant to do. It's such a good lore when you're right. 1/3 of the time it works every time. For what it's worth, like the breaker numbers aren't amazing, but when you compare this to some of the coders you have in criminal, it's like not the worst. Like there's a lot of 4-strength code gates, I guess. I don't know. The dogs could have cost 1 less to install. I mean, like maybe. Honestly, I would love it if the dogs cost 1 MU because I think it'd be really funny to be like, this is actually part of your breaker suite. But 2 MU means you have to build around it too much. I don't know. Exactly, the tail wags the dog. It's like such a fascinating card that there's card that has this like biblical greed, this like hubris attached to it. This like, I'm gonna like let go of the reins and see what happens. And you know, sometimes it works. Argo sled dogs are cute. I regret making a deck around them. Okay, so hold on. The Arkham sled dogs are sick, Paul. I won't take any slander on this. Arkham sled dogs. So sled dogs is a really funny card in Arkham. Is sled dog? Sled dog singular. It's funny how you think it's a double. So this is an asset and it takes up your ally slot. You only have 1 ally slot. So it's an important card, kind of like your console slot. That being said, if this gets defeated, you can play more allies in your deck, and it does. Consoles usually don't get defeated. However, it says you may include up to 4 copies of sled dog in your deck. Normally every card you only put up to 2, and up to 2 sled dog cards can take up a single ally slot. As an action, you can exhaust X sled dogs to move X times, which is now okay if you have at least 4 of them. Or you can exhaust X sled dogs to fight. You get plus X combat for this attack, and instead of standard damage, it does X damage. So this only gets good once you get the 3rd sled dog down, which is already its own issue because you only have 1 ally slot. But it's really easy in this game technically to get another ally slot. But then you have to have 4 dogs in your deck. You have to draw them. You have to play them. I played an entire campaign where multiple people on the table were all playing 4 sled dogs in their deck. And we play Teamwork, which is this really weird card in Arkham that never sees play that allows you to trade cards between players. And we had someone down with, I think, 8 to 10 sled dogs. And once you got to that point, it wasn't even that good, but it was hella fun. It was a very memorable story. But we did the 8-player, the 4-player, everyone 4 sled dogs game, and it was genuinely quite sick. Would do it again. The sled dog's favorite card. This is sick. These are the cards I want. Cards that recommend you or encourage you to build around and do something maybe suboptimal, but genuinely incredible once you set it up. So yeah, we did all of the sled dogs. Good fun. The best dogs. We did it in, I think we did it in Edge of the Earth too, where there's a fair bit more movement. I played Yu-Gi-Oh this morning. I gave you a headache. Why do people like that? I mean, I think people like comboing. People like Yu-Gi-Oh. It's fun jank. It is fun jank. Genuinely fun jank. I like it a lot. Anyways, no free lunch is worth its weight for sure. Shaper, this is going to be a bit weird. Deep Dive is obviously a card that's worth knowing about and playing. Hey, good morning, David. How's it going? On the Shaper side, Propeller's the best fractor in the game. Orca's technically worth thinking about, but a lot of these Shaper cards, unfortunately, are attached to the charge mechanic, which, as we know, did not exactly land. So a lot of them are undercosted or overcosted or somewhere in between. I would say environmental testing is worth having. Stone Chip is worth having. Nuka is a huge staple across multi-factions, and we lost our dolls. So, like, not bad. I actually think that there's more consistent hits, maybe, than the last cycle. Are we ignoring the boats? Yeah, it's banned. I mean, what can we do? I don't play Arkham, but I'm going to choose to believe that I'm playing Jachinio and Sled Dogs are the same experience. Well, you see, once you have the Sled Dogs down, you still have to play the game. So unlike Jachinio, where you play your own mini game. Yeah, this doesn't make sense, Crank. You giving me WarioWare comments, and you bring a Jachinio deck where it's like, oh, I'm not going to play Netrunner. I don't care about the agendas. I'm just going to run 3 central servers. I say that hopefully in jest, but yeah, come on. This is a WarioWare-ass deck. It has to be. All right, we're going to finish this quickly. We just have 3 more. This is Liberation. How's everyone doing today? Liberation, weird set. I honestly don't remember loving Liberation so much when it came out. I do think maybe in hindsight, we're going to look back with fonder, but there was a whole bunch of assets in it. A lot of assets. It did become pretty acidy from my understanding. And look at these HB agendas. Like, what happened? Is Arkham similar to the Game of Thrones LCG? That's the only card game I've liked since leaving TCGs. No, I would say not at all. The distribution model is the same because it is like the same people, but the Game of Thrones LCG was like a competitive game. Arkham is solo cooperative, and it's a narrative game in which you play a series of scenarios in a larger story. And it's kind of like an RPG where your decisions matter, your successes and failures matter. It is very far from Game of Thrones, besides the fact that you build your deck and you have deck building rules. That's largely it. And it's distributed as LCG. Game of Thrones was a PvP game. Yeah, it's totally PvP. Someone clipped the moment where Andre is still malding to losing my nice deck in 2024. I was not upset about it. I drew really poorly, I'll be honest. But like, I should have seen it coming. I think that's the only part I'm upset about. Never played Arkham, but amazed that 8x Dog still wasn't good. It wasn't good enough, but it was fun. It like wasn't the best thing. What makes a strong Arkham deck? Ooh, good question. Shout out to Velma's Diner. We stream every Wednesday night. We're just started a new campaign, and it's like the new core set. So if you want to drop in and learn how the game works, again, it's linked in the description, youtube.com, Velma's Diner. So I should shout this out a bit more. But we do streams on Tuesday nights. We play in paper. We have an overlay that got even better. But it's nice. It's like really accessible. Look at that guy. And we have all the card pop-ups and stuff. So you can see all the cards. So if you want to learn how Arkham is, Wednesday evenings, Eastern, or watch the VODs, they're great. What makes a good Arkham deck? The answer is Dr. Milan Christopher. I mean, it's a lot of different things. In the game, there's like 2.5 things you need to do. You need to do damage, usually. You need to find clues. You have to move and evade to some extent, right? A good Arkham deck usually is a good card game deck. So generally in card games, the whole like problem presented to you is you need to translate the cards from your deck to your hand to the table. And that usually takes you actions. Like just like Netrunner, this has a click economy. So on your turn, you have 3 clicks or 3 actions, just like playing Netrunner, right? So you have 3 things you can do. This game actually has the same like basic actions as Netrunner. Like if your hand is bad, you can always spend one of your actions on your turn to draw a card. Like this game plays very much like Netrunner, which is why the overlap for Netrunner and Arkham people is as big as it usually is. So yeah, a deck will basically be well oiled to do all that sort of stuff, basically extract value from their deck to the table. You are doing tests in this game, so you're comparing your stats to the difficult tests you have to do in the game. The higher your numbers, the better. And then you pull from a token bag, and the modifier will basically decrease your stats. And if you have equal or a higher, you will still pass the test. So being able to like efficiently do more things per action, like in any game, is good. So attacking for 1 damage, mid, attacking for 2 damage, standard, attacking for 3 damage for a single action, cracked, and then making sure that your stats are high enough or that you can succeed tests automatically. All that stuff is really good. But a lot of it is just like the fundamentals that you want it to be. Like it is a game with an action economy. So a card that takes like 6 clicks to generate like 6 resources is bad, but a card that takes 1 click to generate 4 resources is good. So a lot of your Netrunner fundamentals will translate over, which is great. Some Arkham decks are just stat boosting value piles, and some use broken cards to cheat a test. Yes, some do all of those, which is really good. We finished a campaign on this just like 2 weeks ago, and I'll just show you our character because it's interesting. So our character is Andre Patel. Andre Patel, the film star, is a new rogue, and his ability text says, after you succeed a skill test by 2 or more during your turn, you may take an additional action this turn. So imagine an Netrunner identity that just said, if you did something this turn that was really good, take another action. That would obviously be very good. It's like Sable-like. And we have a 5 stat, which is a really good stat, as much as evasion is a niche stat that can't be used to advance most of the game, unless you have cards in your deck that allow you to use your evasion to do the base things in the game. Yeah, good. This was good. We got 4 actions on most every turn, and getting 4 actions instead of 3 actions every turn if you played Magdalene or Lat. Like, you know that that's good. Andre Patel's the collective, changing my view. We need the Andre Patel cosplay. I mean, it's a good look. It's a good look. That Kane, we actually had that Kane in our deck. Is this the Nintendo Direct? But I'd like to announce we're doing Xenoblade Chronicles one more time. Do you have any plans to cosplay as Andre Patel? I mean, not really. I haven't considered it. It was funny to start our first stream where it's Andre playing Andre. And now, like, so many people think my name is spelled like this, which, like, I get why that is. I guess I should just do this public announcement every once in a while. I live in French Canada, so you'd assume my name is spelled like this. It is not. It's Andrej, just so we're on the same page. If you say Andre with an EX on thank you, like, it makes sense. It's not upsetting. But, like, yeah, my name is slightly different than that. Love the 4 stats, Brains, Book, Brawn, and Boots. Yeah, nobody knows the names of these. Okay, I'll be very clear. Everyone has their own language for these stats. I usually say willpower, book, fight, and foot. Technically, and I had to learn these because of the stream, this is willpower, intellect, combat, and agility. But like when you say foot, people know what you're talking about, so it's no stress. Andre Solidarity. Shout out Preston and Mandy, simply the most fun. Mandy's the 50 card deck one, right? No, it's a Mandy Thompson. Yeah, she's really good. They've eroded her, so you're forced to play a 50 card deck. But whenever she searches, does a search effect, she searches 3 more cards, which is just good fun. It's just like kind of goofy. It's really, really good. Marie with the casual 12 resources makes sense. Oh yeah, on the stream VOD. Yeah, the Marie deck had way more money than things to do with it. Honestly, we had too much money. I had to take money out of the deck. Some Arkham, yeah, excuse me. I have used Netrunner tokens for Arkham. It worked well. Yeah, it's kind of the same idea. Brain, book, fist, foot, or head. I've never said head because willpower is like a really fun word, but I could see it. Kato, by the way, I don't think I said hi. It's the same thing that people don't know the names of the symbols. So I have like cultist, tablet, skull, and fish face. Because I don't know what the fish face is actually called. It's technically called like Elder Thing, which is confusing when a token is called Elder Sign. Like it doesn't have to be like that. I tried pre-errata Mandy and consistently shuffling my deck like Ob. Yeah, it's good. I don't know if you tried pre-errata, what's his name? The guy that searches 3, 6, or 9 before his fast action became an action. I forget his name, but he's really, really good. Squid's not bad. I could do Squid. It's Elder Sign, yeah, but there's Elder Sign and Elder Symbol. So like, no, that doesn't make sense. It's like calling an ID as and calling an ID Baz. You shouldn't. Wait, that happened? It's Mr. Rook. Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Rook is absurd. Like imagine Mr. Rook. This is the cool thing about Arkham is like you can look at these cards and be like, whoa, these could be Netrunner cards. Mr. Rook was way too good. Mr. Rook came in the ally slot, so contentious slot like a console. Came in with 3 secrets, which are just counters, and you can use a secret at fast speed, so instant speed, paid ability, window speed, to search the top 3, 6, 9 cards of your deck for any card and draw it. However, if a weakness was among the searched cards and your deck has to have some amount of weaknesses in it, which are just genuinely bad cards that you shouldn't draw, you have to draw them if they show up. So the dealer in secrets can reveal evils to you, which is like really good theme. But it's basically a card that just like search through the top of your deck. This was busted, so instead of having it be a fast action, they now made it a click ability, so one of your 3 actions. And this card is still probably worth a slot in some decks. But yeah, Rook is good. Rook was really good. Was there any crossover between FFG LCGs? No, the only crossover is cards by name. So there's a lot of games in which Sure Gamble will be a card. And like this will just happen inherently, but I'm pretty sure the designers do this intentionally. But there's a lot of times where different LCGs will use the same names as a little like kind of thing. Like a little nod. Like for instance, this one was my favorite one in Marvel Champions. The first deck that got me into the game had 4 copies of Always Be Running in it, which shows Quicksilver, who is a very fast superhero who can run very, very quick. But your deck had 4 copies of Always Be Running, and it's a really good card too. It just says Ready Quicksilver, which in the context of the game, that's actually very great. That's the thing. Actually, one of these is really funny and on the nose too. Is that this is a card called Defiance, and Defiance first showed up in Arkham Horror, but this is the Marvel Champions one. It says Defiance. What it does, it says when a boost card on an enemy attacking you would be turned face up, discard it. So when enemies attack you, you have to take a random card from the top of the deck, and then it'll have bad text on it or bad numbers. So something worse will happen to you, and you never know what it is. And then the flavor text is No by Shang-Chi, and the text basically says when something would happen, don't do it. If you go over to Arkham Horror and you search Defiance, which came out first, it's the exact same card with the exact same flavor text, which is really funny. So before revealing chaos tokens for a test, choose one of the following symbols and ignore it. And the flavor text is also simply no, not credited to Shang-Chi, which is very, very cute. But you do see that every once in a while where there's a little nod, but they can't be like, it's not like Laramie Fisk is showing up in Marvel Champions, right? Old Book of Lore is definitely good, but not Busto. Yeah, Blurby, Old Book of Lore is it's good in the Librarian, right? There's a Gandalf on all the co-op LCGs. Yeah, that is actually true. who's the Gandalf? Well, okay, hold on. There's two kind of Gandalfs. There's the play the top of your deck Gandalf, and then there's the ally Gandalf. So I don't actually know if I have a ring searcher here. I probably don't. So Gandalf is this card. No, I don't have it. R/Gandalf. Rings DB Gandalf. So some of the games have double Gandalfs. One of the Gandalfs is the hero Gandalf. The other Gandalf is like the ally Gandalf. So most of the games have an ally Gandalf. An ally Gandalf basically comes in. It's very expensive. It comes in for 1 round, and at the end of the round, you discard it. And when Gandalf enters play, you get a good text. So if Gandalf enters play, you can immediately draw 3 cards, deal 4 damage, or reduce threat by 5, which are all very good abilities. He also has very good stats, but he's only around for 1 turn. So Gandalf shows up and leaves. And then this card is heavily translated into other games. So we have Nick Fury, who is a very much staple card. I'd actually consider Nick Fury to be like Rashida Yahim in this game. So also Nick Fury costs 4, has good stats. After Nick Fury enters play, choose 1, remove 2 threat, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage. So exactly the same fundamental card. And you even have a card that allows you to sneak in Gandalf called Sneak Attack in both games, as much as one's better than the other. Secondly, this is the Gandalf Hero, and Gandalf Hero says you play with the top card of your deck face up, and once per phase, you may play the top card of your deck as if in your hand, and there's synergies for that where you can like swap cards. So Gandalf sees the future, and your hand size goes up +1, which is really, really, really good. And then they did that also in Magic, who is a hero, who says, this one, play with the top card of your deck face up, once per phase, you may play the top card of your deck as if in your hand, reducing its cost by 1. And because this is not once per round, it's once per phase, that means you can do it during the villain phase, and it makes some really interesting brews, which is very cool. Netrunner doesn't have this, mind you. You have this as well in Arkham. There is a Gandalf Seeker who can also like play with the top of the deck and use it, which is really fun. But Netrunner didn't have it, and it was like such a Shaper-S ability that I have no doubt FFG would have explored at some time, and I hope that happens sooner than later. But it's like such a Shaper playstyle. Imagine a corp card that made you play your top card face up. I think we saw it. I think Nemec had this NBN that had a bit more influence, that said you always play with your top deck of your deck face up, but you had an instant speed at the end of your turn to either leave the card there and make money or draw the card or something like that. So it showed information, but you got paid when you showed information, and you had to play with the top card of your deck face up. It was like kind of cool, as much as I could see it being a huge issue. Yeah, it's Norman. Thank you. Yeah, the astrologer. He becomes purple, right? Norman Withers. It's been a while since I played Norman. But normal thing, play with the top card of your deck revealed. Yeah. Like FFG just does this. I'm like, good for them. I think that's sick. Caligoda is similar, but not it exactly. Wouldn't Blink count as a semi-Gandalf? It's too far away from what Gandalf wants to be doing, which is like this constant seeing the top of your deck. I see where you're coming at, but Hiram anti-attack? Yeah, why need to be Hiram when everyone's Hiram, right? It's a fun ability, but I'm confused how Magic is thematically related to playing at the top of your deck. Well, because Magic is about making portals to the underworld. I'm not going to say I'm a Magic expert, but a lot of her cards are about like stepping portals. And so like she can recur and see the future, and she can bring things in, right? Like a lot of her cards have this, like, I think Magic's one of my favorite heroes. This is Bishop. So like Magic has these sort of cards where it's like remove 4 threat from a scheme, and then if the top card of your deck has this icon, it does something else. So it's about like stepping through your stepping discs, and that's the idea. Like this is a stepping disc, ready your hero, put a Magic card on top of your deck, and then you can step through and play it. I think it's sick. It's obviously a bit more of a stretch than maybe Gandalf, but I could get behind it. Yeah, it's like kind of mostly hot, but not really. Like not really. Q-Loop isn't constant, but you do usually know the top card and play it for huge click savings on each turn. Yeah. And hey, I like Q-Loop, so that can't be a surprise. Similar ideas. Yeah. I don't know. There's some really good mutant designed characters in this game. The game design of Marvel Champions is pretty cool. Yeah, the card of the portal makes sense. Yeah. It's all about stepping and going through the stepping discs and bringing things in. That's really cool. Like her ally is Colossus, her brother, and Colossus can step through the disc really efficiently and block attacks. It's good. Anyways, I don't know how we got here. The question was asked, what makes a good Arkham deck? And the answer is what makes a good Netrunner deck. It's usually the same thing. It's like you need to be able to do your thing efficiently. You need to make an efficient engine that takes cards from your deck to your hand to the table. All of those are really, really good. And the good thing with like most games is there's many different ways to do it. Shout out to one of my favorite, Winifred. One in? Winifred Habermuck just says, if 2 or more non-weakness cards are committed to a skill test, draw 1 card. So you can make a deck that's like 90% skill cards, and skill cards are cards that are not permanent. You commit them when doing actions, and they have text and boosts. And the fact that you can commit 2 to draw 1 is like kind of good enough. And then you have other ways to draw cards when you succeed tests. Winifred Habermuck is like incredibly good. This is a very cool character. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways. What makes a fun Arkham deck? What makes a good Arkham deck? Similar. Same like Netrunner. Sometimes the problem is like a lot of people think good deck and fun deck is the same because winning can be just inherently fun. Like taking something that you know is difficult and then dealing with it head on and dealing with it well without breaking a sweat can be fun for many, myself included. So that is an answer to that question. The other time though is like you can end up in Netrunner, and Arkham Horror actually ends up in this a bit more, is you can end up in game states that are boring. Right, this is not the best example, but like if you were the guardian, you're the person who's on the team to deal with enemies. It's very easy for your game to be like engage enemy, fight, fight. Next turn, move, engage enemy, fight. Next turn, fight, fight, move, right? Like you can get very, very boring. So often what I want to do when I play Arkham to make my games interesting is have a lot of weird moving pieces. So one of the decks I'm playing with my team, with my friends, and we're on break right now because of the summer, is I'm playing Father Mateo. Father Mateo is this priest, and I'm playing actually parallel Father Mateo, so it's a fair bit different. But Father Mateo is this priest character, was never particularly good. He came out before I think Bless or Curse tokens were around, maybe at the same time. But Father Mateo has this ability when you play the parallel Father Mateo that he can just seal a Bless token on himself or anybody else's location once per turn. And a Bless token is just a good token that you can pull that will give you +2 to the stat. So you can basically say your next test is going to be pretty good. That's not bad. It's actually pretty good, especially because he releases it after, which is really weird. But Father Mateo is really strange. He's a warden, and there's a card that they printed in the game called the Tank Geffer, which is this ridiculous rifle that takes 2 hands, that takes you an action to reload it, can only have 1 bullet, but this is a tank cannon. Like it's designed to shoot out, tanks. So it gives you +5 attack, and it does 4 damage for a single attack, which is nonsense in this game. It's also 5 experience, which is like the most experience for a single card largely. But he can play it because he's a warden. Like he's not meant to have access to military equipment, but you can technically bring your tank Geffer through the church. And so right now on my team, I am the priest, and I have 2 of these strapped to my deck. He's bringing the anti-tank gun. We're playing through this custom scenario that has like a lot of like scenarios in like residential-esque locations. So like we went to a crime, what's it called? A crime. Where what do they do where they bid on things? There's a word for this. An auction. We went to a crime auction, and I'm in the back rooms like fighting gangsters with a tank Geffer. It's like kind of sick. And the fact that he's blessed means he can make sure that the tank shot always hits perfectly. It's like really goofy theme, but like I'm doing something that's both powerful, but weird, but fun. I'm playing with cards I haven't done before, that I haven't used before. These are all answers that are the same with Netrunner. There's a lot of ways to have fun. Sometimes it's doing something weird. Sometimes it's doing something weird well. Delivering horrors from the mortal plane. Yeah, exactly. And like you can imagine yourself being the Venator, like the holy warrior. And it's been good. It's been surprisingly good until his snake comes up and you have to shoot a snake with a tank gun. I'm just saying the narrative nature of the game plus the way cards interact, narrative gold sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it's really, really good. Yeah, the rest of the team is like my teammate is Sister Mary, who is also part of the clergy. She's just like passively helping everyone and keeping everyone nice and blessed, which is good. Then we have the doctor. We have Vincent Lee, who has gone whole scenarios without healing people, but he's a doctor who actually can go like fight mode with his bone saw. But when he heals people, they get better. They get this sort of pseudo blessed ability. And then we have Calvin, who's one of my favorite characters, who is this character who starts with no stats, but every time that he takes damage or horror, his stats go up permanently as long as he survives, because he's not very good at surviving, but he is the haunted. He's like survivor. So you're trying to basically kind of edge as much damage and horror as you can until your stats are absurd. But if you take 1 more damage or horror, you're in a really bad spot, which causes this like ridiculous tension where like we have a lot of people on the table, including the doctor, who wants to heal Calvin, but Calvin doesn't want to get healed. And so it's like just kind of interesting. But that's the gang of us. We have the father, the sister, Calvin Wright, who is like barely holding on, and then we have the doctor who's making sure we're all staying healthy. Like the game's good. The game's really good. It's generally good fun. Should I let you play Father Mateo and Calvin for us to die in 2-player? Man, I really enjoy these. Survivor's this red class. Survivor's a weird class because they're very good at just like doing whatever they want, but they don't do anything incredibly efficiently usually, but their cards are usually undercosted in terms of experience, and they're very, very hardy. Like they're good at not dying, but they're not good at doing anything else greatly efficiently. But they also get some of the weirdest builds. And like we've talked about this before. What's her name? What's the name of the violinist? I always say it in the French way, so now I forget what her name is. Can someone tell me the Flesh and Blood violinist? Because it's a playstyle that like Netrunner needs to have. It's just so hard to balance this. But if the designers can figure out how to... Patrice, right? Patrice Hathaway? Not Safina, Patrice. So Patrice is basically Flesh and Blood or Marvel Champions or Slay the Spire. And the way she plays is so good. And I don't know how to make this happen in Netrunner without it being incredibly broken. But Patrice Hathaway has like reasonable stats. Actually, not very good stats. Her stats are lower than average. She has good soak. But she says your maximum hand size is reduced by 3. So she has 5 hand size. And during each upkeep phase, which is basically at the end of the turn, you have to discard your whole hand and then just draw back up to your hand size. So you're functionally playing like Slay the Spire. You're playing like Flesh and Blood, where instead of just drawing 1 card a turn, which you generally do automatically every an upkeep phase in Arkham Horror, you draw a card and a credit, kind of like mandatory draw for the corporation. But she just ditches her hand and draws 5 more. She has a 42 card deck size, so her deck is slightly bigger than most decks, but that's it. You can't spend your hand. You're going to get a new hand. And it's so fun. And the reason why this is so cool is like Survivor commonly has these sort of play styles where they build an investigator that's like nothing else. Like, oh, let's just like totally invert the game and just let you have fun trying to figure this out. This as a criminal ID would be sick. It's really hard to balance this, but I would love this as a criminal ID with some downsides. This is like playing Anarch. It's kind of like Anarch, but like that's why I think I'd be more interested with this as criminal, because as Anarch, otherwise all these cards would fire Steel Skin and Strike Fund and all that sort of stuff. So I want it that if you're doing it, you have to import it in criminal. But man, like this would be so much fun. I know everyone's saying Anarch, but I think this as criminal would be way better, because criminal actually has issues where like if you draw your breakers, you need to play them and you only have so many actions on a turn. Run events where you draw them for free are really good, but then you can't like hold the pinhole for the right time. I don't know, it seems good. Seems really fun. Anarch is George Barnaby, where you get a draw when you trash a card from hand. Yeah. George is the last one in this sort of cycle of things that build really differently. And I know I played George. Jeff played a lot of George. But George basically has no hand size, but you can tuck cards underneath you to increase your hand size, but you can play the cards underneath you. And you have to like really worry about the timing structure, because this is a once per phase ability to tuck. She should probably have her own faction. The new criminal. I can see it. Porting Steel Skin Strike Fund into other factions, you say? Yeah, but 3 and 3 this time, Laura. Playing Patrice in the campaign right now. Tech, firstly, enjoy it. I have an issue with Patrice is after I play Patrice and then I go to my next campaign and play another character, it feels so boring. Because that is like the best thing about Slay the Spire or Marvel Champions or Flesh and Blood. Drawing a new hand every turn is such like a Moorish cycle where every turn is like, oh, a new puzzle for me to solve. Joy. As opposed to like when you're playing Netrunner as a corporation or you're playing a more conventional Arkham Horror investigator. It's like, oh, you drew 1 more card. So what I can do is basically the same as what I could do last turn. And so maybe it adds a nice little thing. Maybe you draw something very special, but it's like, yeah, you know, not the big change. But every turn getting a new puzzle to solve, like, oh, 5 new cards. How do you spend them? Because you're going to get 5 new cards next turn. It's so fun. Patrice is just cracked. Imagine Patrice and drawing Doomed as your random basic weakness. In Hemlock Vale, there's weaknesses that say if you have no cards in hand, something really bad happens to you. And Patrice will, for a moment on every turn, have no cards in hand. And the designers are like, we can't fix that. So there's even like an achievement they put in the back, be like, play Patrice through Hemlock Vale, which I would say is nearly impossible. Right? Like this doesn't need to work all the time. But yeah, there's certain campaigns that actually punish you for having no cards in hand. And she will every turn by design have no cards in hand. Technically, she can keep 1 if it's a weakness, 1 or 2, but that's probably not good for you anyways. Anyways, you want to drop by on Wednesdays? You want to subscribe to the channel? Velma's Diner. It's linked in the description. We do stream and we try to make it as approachable as possible. But like this game there's a big reason why Netrunner players like Arkham Horror. It's very, very good. Very, very fun game. Dunnage also had some troublesome things for Patrice. Yes, yeah. Dunnage punishes you for decking out. The thing is, like, Patrice doesn't necessarily deck out more than others because her Elder Sign lets her redeck herself. Like, her Elder Sign is Ashen. Like, Elder Sign, after this test ends, you may shuffle all but 1 card from your discard pile into your deck, which is really fun text, all but 1, because you have to decide what that 1 is. But I think, actually, I don't often deck out with Patrice, because you usually find the Elder Sign 1 in every 8 turns. So it's not that bad, but it could be very, very bad. It could actually be a disaster, for sure. But yeah, that's good. Any more hidden channels? I got 3. I got 3 channels. We also play Marvel Champions Fridays and Sundays. That's also been a lot of fun. It's called The Crash Space. You can find it. Also linked in the description. Anyways, sorry, we were doing through this. Man, yeah, you can't talk about Arkham. You'll sidetrack me. What if you just had the bottom of your hand and draw a number you bottomed each turn? You're basically describing Flesh and Blood, except the number is your hand size to some extent, right? After Dunnage now, not a problem anymore with Alter Fate and Eucatastrophe. Yeah. Eucatastrophe is a messed up card. Isn't Crash Space an A&R card? Yes, it is. It was an original A&R card from the original core set, which is why the channel is named that. It was meant to be a bit of a Netrunner reference. That was before I knew it was going to be an Arkham Horror channel. Oh, sorry, Marvel Champions channel. I thought it would just be like an alternate channel where we could do whatever we want, like play board games and stuff. But Crash kind of made sense with a superhero theme, so we went with it. But yeah, it's called that for a reason for sure. Having Mystic up at the level 2 also lets you include some Elder Sign fishing in the deck to keep from decking out. Yes, yeah, your Mystic spend can go pretty far there. My fighting game pilled card game avoiding wife has been watching play SDS, and the appeal of solving a new puzzle each turn has intrigued her so much for more than Netrunner ever did. It's a real thing. It's like really fun. Having a new puzzle every turn is kind of sick. Can't let them know about the secret Ashes channel. Yeah, we've been playing Ashes on the Crash Space every like Tuesday, once a month or something. It's been good fun too. But yeah, we're busy for sure. Speaking of that, we'll get through this. We'll talk about the video stuff. We'll look at the meta, and then we'll play some Netrunner. I do want to say this stream, and maybe this is a bad time to say it, it's going to be a bit shorter than some other Tuesday streams because I have to be somewhere at 5 o'clock. So we probably have to be out here at 3:30. That means we still have a couple hours, but it's not going to be as long as some other Tuesdays. Apologies for that. There's some video content you can watch. We post it on Monday. It's 10 minutes long, so watch it really slow. All right, so we're talking about which of these cards were like seminal. Very important cards. Now there's some good cards here, but so far the hit rate actually has been going up since Ashes, as much as Ashes seems to be very much weighted towards like specifically Anarch being really incredibly good. Super secret Lord of the Rings LCG channel. 0.05x speed. So this is HB. This HB agenda suite, I mean, into the sun it goes. Into the sun. None of this should exist. Lightning Laboratory can exist for fun, but like none of this should exist. Then we start to see assets, and like HB assets was really good at this time. And by HB assets, I mean people spending influence on HB assets. We were told that the trash cost of assets would be going down around this point in the game a bit sooner, and Wage Workers has an absurd but for how important this card is. Usually only gives 1 click a turn. It turns out that's the most important. And then we have Warm Reception and Working Prototype, which are also relatively unhealthy because if they stuck on the table, the amount of value you got from this was nonsense. And you just had these like turn 1 setups where if you got really lucky, you had Warm Reception, Prototype, Spin Doctor. I wouldn't say the game is over on this spot, but like it's really bad. So that's kind of gross. Hey, salvo testing is cool. Nah, no shot, Ryan. No shot. You can't let this be cool. Core damage, no. It comes down from where Jeeves was. I mean, it did. Both up in influence and down in trash cost. But yeah, I don't know. The numbers still seem a bit high in 2026, which is weird. In terms of the ice, like a lot of these did miss pretty hard. I do want to say Lyceum did just win a Mega Cities again. It's still in competitive decks, which maybe Laura can talk to you a bit about this. The question was asked on the latest, what's it called? Measured response. Like what the question was like, somebody was saying in Netrunner, whenever somebody rezzed a toll booth, and maybe I'm going to misquote this. If toll booth was a card that you considered playing in a standard deck, that was this person's like yardstick of whether it was a good meta. If toll booth was a relevant card. And that's funny because Toll Booth was relevant in a lot of metas. It was relevant really early. It did win Worlds, I'm pretty sure. So it's coming and it's gone. But having just like a big old ice with a face check, which now Whitespace kind of does for a quarter of the credits, it's like relevant. And this is expensive. 5 strength code gates with a face check on encounter. It's like pretty cool. So it's neat that this card is like a card that people want to anchor, you know, a lot of attention towards. And I understand why. Like I get it. One of the ones that was brought up by Safer as his equivalent was MIC. And I do agree. MIC is the sort of like fair code gate. It is more expensive than the average ice. It has a reasonable face check. It has interesting text on it. And I do agree. I think MIC is like a very cool card. And I actually think this is one of my favorite ice in a while. MIC is really cool. Double Boost was also extremely fringe for so long in good metas. It was not super common. Also, it being 1 influence. And I know Safer's been talking about this a fair bit too. Oh no, it's 2 influence. I don't think I realized that. But like right now, the game doesn't have a lot of 1 influence cards that are exciting to splash. And I wish that would be rectified. I think I only res a Lyceum for free from a Sam Lamau. It ggets de-resed immediately. Oh, that's really good. Good stuff. Anyways, a Bladed Barrier is also really important. And yeah, very good. Ablative to me is the goat in the set. Definitely a Blade of seeing more play than MIC is right now. But I think MIC is, I think, a better Netrunner card. It's a more interesting Netrunner card. I think a Blade of Barrier was a ban me card when we talked about the tier list, and I still stand by that. Card's really good. None of this is really integral. Greasing the palm is important, but like if you don't have it, it doesn't really close off a lot of the decks that you can play. It's a good when it comes to having Wage Workers. It's technically good when you have what's it called? Plutus, but like ultimately, I mean, this card never really does that much. Jinteki agendas one more time. Wow, the Jinteki agendas have all been like busted. The last 3 Jinteki agendas we had were all faction stapled. This is no different. These Jinteki agendas are absurd. The Jinteki agendas have been really good. Then we have Front the Charlotte cohort. Yeah, like Jinteki after Ashes got a lot of, you know, it was bad because they were not great cards and people were like, fix Jinteki. And compared to any other faction, the Jinteki cards for the last couple of years have all been, in hindsight, very pushed, right? But then this is a faction build around. It was a faction staple. Stand by. I do want to say our tier lists have been pretty good. I do want to say that. And yeah, I mean, at the time, I hoped it was. It's not. Front Company, Charlotte Cohort, some of the most important cards. Tattoo Bola, ban me please, messed up. Tributary, literally ban me please. Teeny, Sing more play than ever. Cloud Eater, Into the Sun, and Botu, good old River Dolphin, quite nice. But yeah, like almost all these cards are absurd. Like there's 9 Jinteki cards here. The ones that didn't get banned, like they're all still seeing a lot of play. Oh, sorry. Then you get down here, which I forgot about this. I thought we ended after Botu, but Atea, Mindscape, and Bring Them Home, Daniela, Adrian, like fine, whatever. Oh, sorry, Xylarth. Yeah, this is not doing it for me. I think on kneecap for Nanocifics Crimes. I mean, yeah, I guess so. To some extent, you're right. I don't know what Sisyphus doesn't require it to be scored to launch the Misery Engine. Regenesis is hella curse. Yes. No, I don't have much good to say. Charlotte is the best. Charlotte is the best. I want to see more people do install Advanced Charlotte once we get rid of Hermes or whatever. But like, yeah, that's good. NBN. Yeah, the assets were good in NBN. This is where like NBN horizontal, like Near Earth Hub was still legal here, I'm pretty sure. But like Think Tank, good. Balanced coverage, federal fundraising, again, must trash cards that cost 3 and 2, still seem to be a lot. I don't care for Behold. King Making is a card that I think I've only played once, but people do build decks around it and they do okay. And Stoke the Embers is very, very important for Epiphany, which came out in the set. VSA is very good in certain metas. We're seeing less AI breakers, so seems less relevant on the code gate slot. We saw a lot of the Epiphany decks move to Doomscroll, which makes sense. It's more taxing. The subroutines might be more impactful than just this. Starlit Knight also mattered. Piranhas kind of matters. And then, yeah, big Jinteki Ice, NBN Ice. Epiphany, we've come around. Epiphany is now like quite good. For a while, it was a joke because Near Earth Hub was out, but I think that's not a power creep hill you want to like really be fighting on. So Epiphany has ended in a spot that I think is fascinating and a very powerful identity. YDL one day, of course, will be banned. Holoman was the Sky is Falling card and a half. At this point, you forget it exists. Maybe part of that's NBN, but people are splashing this in weird ways, whether it's Regenesis, like, or even in Wayland to like do Myoshu stuff, I guess. This card is very, very, very powerful. The one problem with this card is that it probably should have only said advance a card that can be advanced. That was caused a banning, which rightfully should have happened anyways. But like Holoman is like such a good example of a card that is powerful but fair but interesting and like a good Liga art candidate too. Like this is a huge success for the set. This was a very contentious slot of a card, but I'm glad it's ended up where exactly it is. Cards like Danielle and Adrian might not see that much play at the moment, but are still more relevant than other Jinteki Ashes cards, for example. So compare Ashes to other sets, the average card is better. Yeah, I would say that's true. Like those cards are definitely better than the average Ashes cards, but like low bar, admittedly, respectfully. Even the cards that aren't meta are very playable and worth exploring, which can't really be said a lot for Ashes. Yeah, 100%. I want to be very clear. Being out of the meta means we aren't seeing nearly as much Holoman. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Op was a big candidate for this. And obviously Oppo research is incredibly important. What card got banned? Reconstruction Contract. If you didn't see those sort of decks, and shout out to like Toronto just being a home of combo decks for any of their major events. Why is Toronto always combo deck central? So Reconstruction Contract was a card that won Worlds before. It seems like a card that's meant to care about meat damage. The short of the long is that if you just put advancement counters on this, which mind you, you can't advance it itself because it's not an advanceable card, but you can put advancements on it. So say you have a Reconstruction Contract with like 4 counters on it and the runner runs literally any server largely, you can trash the Reconstruction Contract at instant speed using Op, which means you can go get a 0 cost card and then you can get any trap that will just end the game on the spot. And you do that after they've committed to access so they can't jack out. That was the combo deck that existed, and if they didn't do it, you would kill them through what another combo, which I forget exactly what it was. Maybe someone in chat will know. But the idea is that this had enough advancements on it. Holoman advanced it. They just couldn't run anymore, at least remote servers. Ever since it was printed, the meat damage checks on the card has never been important. I think I've seen it fire once or twice in tournaments, but I've seen it fire the other way like 100 times. I don't know what the number is, but it's very, very niche for this text to actually matter. It's usually only used for this text. That's one world. Yeah, Cerebral Urtica. Yeah, but what happens if they didn't win? Because you're meant to have a win condition if they didn't win either. But the idea is if they did run, like you can either pull Cerebral or Urtica. Some decks had 1 and 1. And then once they committed to access, you put all the counters on the Urtica because that's the way that the paid ability works. It's not super intuitive all the time. And then they end up dying. They die. 5 trash cons and Sand Sun's actually real now post rotation. Yeah, Res for 6 is also real post rotation. But I think Holoman's a much more interesting card than Sand Sun. Obviously, because one of them just allows you to fast advance 3/2s. The other one allows you to do a lot of stuff. I expect this text to say power counters, not advancement. Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, this card, yeah, this is one of the big issues. But unfortunately, like Holoman has a text box and a half, so it's hard to put more text on that. But that was an interaction that the design team, I have no doubt, knew could have happened. Turned out it was the worst part of it. But it got banned after one an event. Oh, it was Clearinghouse. Yeah, 100%. Galehar, thank you. Yeah, that should have been obvious. And then the problem is if they don't run and you got 6 advancements on it, you just crack a Clearinghouse at the end of their turn. And then when their turn starts, they die. Yeah, that should have been obvious. Thank you. Yeah, this is why you have to run it, which good luck. Yeah, not good. Wayland Agenda's here, really quite good actually. Basalt Spire might be a problematic card overall. I feel like I feel like right now in the meta, when I trash corp cards, they don't stay trashed anymore. There used to be a window where that wasn't the case. Then they really worked on it being the case, like banning archive memories. But we're now at the point where like if I trash measured response, it only matters a bit. Like it doesn't matter enough, and that feels kind of bad. Like we're at the point where people are accessing measured response and not trashing it because they realize it doesn't matter because there's Basalt Spire scored. And like that sucks. Like I'm not into that. But yeah, there is some sharp edges on this like most important Wayland agenda in the standard format that don't feel entirely healthy, but I have no idea what to do with that. Tree Lines, good card. Logjam's a really good card, but like advanceable ice that goes up in strength forever should not exist. This is my like I've always said that, I guess. I hate it. But usually it's like a fair card where it's like 4 strength, and Hammer is technically a cool card for a while. Recursion to the enemy, it usually is. I don't know if you need Nuveng in the card pool to it to be a substantial thing. All these Wayland cards are like niche, but okay. They have use cases, like BAU has a use case, Angelique has a use case. Tucana is definitely one of the coolest cards of all time, has a surprisingly niche use case in Wayland right now, which is unfortunate. Is there any example of non-problematic recursion? There must be. Powers, I think. Powers is relatively okay. It's a very powerful card, and like admittedly it could get banned if they needed to do an emergency ban list. But like Powers seems fair, but way more fair. Because Powers has to be on the table. It's influence. It has to be res, which is not big. It can be trashed. It only fires on board states where the corporation's doing something good anyways. So I think that's fine. Spin is relatively healthy. Yeah, spin is definitely fine. Like the fact that spin draws cards, that's good. Like I don't have any problems with spin. Plutus, yeah, Plutus is fine too. Plutus is fine. I like Plutus a lot. Ablative? No, I'm not sure about Ablative, Conrad. How's it going? And that's only because having cards on a remote server is such a strong win condition, and there's no good way to interact with this. I don't know. Somerset is quite inconsistent, of course. I actually don't think corporate hospitality is healthy. And that's because like the turn that you play against, I don't know, HB Glacier LEO and you trash their thing, you trash their Mersha and they just corporate hospitality reinstall it, like throw me in the ocean. You run the remote server, they trash a regolith, they do corporate hospitality, install the regolith. Like again, I want to walk straight into the sea. It's awful. I don't care for this. I don't think this card is super, super healthy. PD, no, I'm not convinced precision design is healthy. I mean, I think it's really good as a learn to play tool because it encourages people to score out. I think that's fantastic. The +1 maximum hand size is also cute, but yeah, this card seems to be a bit over curve. This only works half the game and requires run interaction. For ablative, yeah, I hear you. It works half the game, but we're at the point where like there's a lot of pressure on like, oh, you have to check every remote server, and now when they're on threat, if you check the ablative, oh, another server spins up. It's like, I don't have the time to deal with that. Yeah, PD is like straight cracked. PD has always been straight cracked, but it's good for new players. Like it's a really good system gateway ID. Yeah. All right, let's see if Anarch gets it. And the thing with Anarch is we're now kind of not that different than when we looked at ESSA, but ESSA has a lot of cards that were still playable across most Anarchs. But we're kind of at the point where like a lot of these Anarch cards are like mini faction cards because again, the Anarch staples in the original Ashes, it's really hard to build cards on top of that. Price is just absurdly cracked card. Strike Fund was really important for these engine pieces. Eye for an Eye is better than it is. Praxis is nonsense. Badge is also nonsense. The amount of click compression this gives you in an acid matchup, let alone tag an acid matchup, is very easy to understate. Is that the term? Wizard Chest is a cool champ card, but that's largely it's a really cute champ card. Seb is still the most performant Anarch in the runner in the entire card pool. Audrey is absurd. This card's also worth playing around. Shaper deck, mind you, with Audrey in it, just won a Mega Cities just this weekend. I don't have much to say about Banner. Oh no, the criminal cards in the set are gonna be so bad. Yeah, Hannah is nonsense. I love the idea that people talk about Hannah to be like, if a corporation got Hannah as a card, the sky would be falling. When runner gets it, everyone's like, it's super fair. Like the amount of value that this 2-cost install gives you in the matchup where this text is relevant is nonsense. It is straight nonsense. That is so much text. It does seem like this was meant to be like, you know, a cost, but like against remoteless stuff, like this is just like this is the sort of card that kind of like shifts the Overton window of like what kind of assets are acceptable. It's like it feels like Pinhole to me, right? It's like would Pinhole exist, we can print X stuff. I mean, when Hannah exists, it feels like that's meant to be one of the natural release valves, like Solidarity Badge. The thing is, like, Hannah's not everywhere, but like in the asset matchup, giving you, you know, 7 to 8 free clicks and a click tag removal on a turn that matters is just so much. It's just so much. I used to be a hand hater. Now it's one of my favorite cards. It's a really good card. Iru, really good card. Huge tech card at Worlds last year as well. Lago is also a very good card. Friend of a Friend is Pigeonholed. Manuel is Pigeonholed, and Aquaceres Crew is one of the most interesting ice destruction cards we've had in a while, which is quite nice because Anarch wasn't destroying ice for a bit, and it's always nice to have a bit of that in the faction. I could live in a world without Devil Charm, but that's neat. And we actually played like Leech, Crew, Criminal last week and had such a great time. And not having the Devil Charm button means we had to play more aggressively. We had to be more careful. And I'm okay with that world as much as it doesn't seem like we need to ban Devil Charm in right now. Anarch cards are like still very consistently interesting. I despise Hannah, but I play almost exclusively horizontal decks, so take my eye for it. The thing is, like, Cranked, the feeling when they drop Hannah on turn 1 or turn 2, it's like it feels worse than when they drop a companion. But that's the same idea. When they drop a companion on turn 1 or turn 2, they just gain 12 credits for a single action. Hannah is like feels worse than that, weirdly enough. All right, so this is the set with Mercury in it. And so a lot of the cards are Mercury support. And as you know, Mercury is not a playstyle that I appreciate in this game, let alone the highest like tables, because it is basically saying, I'm going to slap shot, right? Like all I'm going to do is take slap shots on centrals. You take enough shots on goal, eventually you will win, but it kind of lacks the subtlety of playing the game. Generally, the game is about remote servers and interacting with the corporation strategy. And this is the playstyle of saying, what about if I didn't have to care about that? And, you know, sometimes you get enough accesses, they win. I also think sometimes this sort of playstyle snowballs, because shout out to Hermes, which we'll talk about. So if you like, you know, maintenance access archives and see 3 cards with Mercury on turn 1, the game can just be over on the spot. So yeah, it's even worse than seeing Mistbones. It weirdly does feel worse than seeing Mistbones. I agree with that. Crew is not Crew and Ashen plus Praxis. It's very different from Crew with those things. I mean, I still think the pain point about Crew is like you can just Devil Charm and blow things up immediately, but it doesn't recur as hard as it used to. But the decks are still playing 3 Crew, 3 Praxis. It's nice that they can't reset their whole deck though, for sure. So yeah, a lot of these criminal cards don't matter. Hermes is one of the most powerful criminal cards in the whole card pool, and it's hard to see that being overthrown. You forget our alarm clock exists, and it's just weird. This is such a good effect, but the slot on it doesn't make a lot of sense. And then like none of these cards really matter. I'm not gonna talk about Jay Chinyu, and Saucy is also like a card that could be cute, but the build is not right. Is Capybara the cutest card? No, but it's definitely competing for it. Kurapira, quite important. Copulation, quite important. Fizerum, quite important, mostly outside of criminal. Debbie sees some amount of play. Amelia and Julie don't. A Copulation, I want to be on the hill that I really wish that this had more of a criminal name than it, because this does feel like a shaper card and it plays more like a shaper card, and some of that is the name. I'm aware that the name is meant to be cute about like, you know, Mercury and changing you know, metals to metals or whatever. Shibboleth also does see play, as much as I hate playing it, but you have to. But yeah, these the program suite is actually pretty good in this pack. Shaper. Yeah, this was a really good shaper set for sure. Burner is absurd in terms of like sort of central pressure, specifically HQ pressure we saw off of Shaper. We've never seen a card this strong off of central pressure. I think the closest is Escher, and like Escher is an important card, but like Escher doesn't just win the game on the spot. Escher is a card that you didn't put in your deck because it costs 3 costs and you only want to draw it late. But yeah, like Burner is such a big shift in what sort of criminal or HQ pressure you wish criminal had that it didn't. Card is absurd. I got salty about that many times. Trick Shot got banned, really, really good. Spree is an interesting card. It did win Worlds, but it's a weird card for sure. And then we start to see like really strong stuff. Lilypad, an engine piece you can build around. Like having this in your card pool, and that's inherently what we're meant to be talking about, does open up whole new play styles. Like Lilypad environmental testing open up entire play styles, which makes it a very important set when you want to play Shaper. Airblade's the cool tech card. Cataloger is technically matters. You don't see a lot of it, but it is a win condition, and this game has very few win conditions, so it's worth something. Arsana is goad. I mean, I want to say goaded. I'm not that good at Arsana, and like play from hand play style, not always my favorite, but that's fine. And then out of all these, Peach Sean is a problem card. Slap Vandal is a nice card to have, but yeah, weird programs there. Okay, Muse Coalescence, incredibly important cards at the end of the day. Muse existing means that you had an extra, so X more recursion cards. Without Muse and Simulchip, you can play any single program like 7 times, which just having that number go up can matter for decks. And the fact that it is a card that you can sell also matters in Modern Netrunner, because it's now you don't just like Simulchip back the Coalescence, you can Simulchip the Muse into the Coalescence, which is a bit more convoluted, but does give you more card draw value if you're playing the stuff that you're playing. Lobi, actually really cool. Kit's not around anymore, and Lobi Summon Kit was definitely a thing, but this is a really interesting build around that seems fairly costed as much as you don't play for it. Has real downsides, has real upsides, specifically now when Kit's not around. This is a really cool design of a card. I think it's really hard to nail a card like that. That is like unwieldy, but interesting, but powerful, but fair, but unfair. Very hard to nail that. We don't see a lot of it right now. You don't, but like Lobi Summoning is a very, very good design. I'm a huge fan of that. Neat. Urban really matters. Pretty Mary matters, but usually shows up in the decks that I don't enjoy. And Bioman's is okay. I mean, it's okay. It's all right. Weird set. I want a Lobi playmat. They do exist, Jensen. I think they existed at conventions. I think they're real. I don't think they were not part of organized play, but they can exist. Fire Wizard Chest, they fetch a Fermenter. I mean, I've seen Wizard Chest and Anarch to fetch Lobi Summon and Orca. Like, that's kind of cool. These are my favorite art in the game. Yeah, it's nice. It's quite nice. The full art makes a good playmat too, because it's exactly like that sort of thing. Gyro Spree is correct in the right deck. Bioman is a great card to include with your last influence. Yes, and it's meta relevant. It is interesting. It's definitely more interesting than Days Wild. That's for sure. All right, we're coming home. This is the set that we recommend to buy next after the core set. We'll see if that lines up. Honestly, Topon and Phoenix are not incredibly performant. I still don't understand the Topon hype or conversion rate, but they're both doing something different that opens up the Anarch card pool when all you have is Lu. It's cool to have things that are not exactly Lu, and I could see why you want to do either of them. The problem though with Phoenix and Topon in a smaller card pool is like, you don't have access to Banhar, which mind you is banned. And for Topon, you don't have access to Steel Skin or Strike Fund. So you have no synergy of trashing from hand. So like maybe that's good to push people to want to buy more products in like a non-cynical way. But it's weird. It's like these cards seem to be balanced around a bigger card pool, which obviously if you have a smaller card pool, I don't know how often those fire. It's hard to say. A lot of these cards are a bit too cute. Like Charm Offensive, Scram to Shred are just a bit too cute. Shred saw a bit of play at Worlds. Charm Offensive is sneaking into decks. Scram just sneaking into some decks, but like a bladed play, I still do not understand playing. Gourmand is important. Rising Tide is important. Cacophony is more important than you think it is, but that's honestly not bad. That's not a bad collection of cards. The issue is like, I don't know which direction these cards push you significantly. And again, this is meant to be like an expansion pack on the core set. So it's nice to get a Gourmand for Lu. It's nice to get another console. I guess that's not Carnivore, but that's still going to be very difficult to fire this. Like, I don't know how you fire this, like DZ, MZ in a small card pool, I guess. Criminal, very good. And the Criminal had like a reset of fundamentals. So a lot of the cards are great. Like Boosie Hod's great. Baz is great. Clean Getaway is absurd. Lilo's good enough. Transfer is absurd. Don't know what keeps happening to the console slot. Sun Control's definitely worth playing if you can. An open market's good enough. Yeah, Rising Tide's nice. I just like, I don't want to play it. I don't want my one cost Corroder to be like the best at breaking barriers, because it's not. So that's weird. Shaper. So Shaper had Dao, and now we got Dewi and Magdalene, and like they're both fun. I want to say these are both fun IDs. I think actually Dewi is one of the most fun IDs you can play in Netrunner. We need to play more Dewi on the channel. Ritual is a staple. Madani is a bit of a curse card, but it's worth building around and playing. It's an interesting play style that for Shapers with a small card pool get the instant speed play that Shaper is known to do, so that's nice. Game Dragon's a nice card for like the Buzzsaw meta that must be core. Azimuth's super important. Devidad Drones is kind of important, and Knickknack is super important. So like you have some nice stable cards in here, and Chromatophorus is the sort of card that in a small card pool, it's like a nice card to build around. People want to build around Chromatophorus, so why not? I don't care for side hustle. LEO, great, really strong. Poetry Luxury Brands can be interesting. I don't know if there's any deck that isn't just better in PD. We'll find out. Humanoid, strong. Ingaton, okay. Aggressive Trendsetting, I'm not sure, but a lot of the 3/2s in this set were just like not good enough in standard. They're probably good in a small card pool. And a big thing with the small card pool here, all you have is like 1 3/2 for your faction and then neutrals. So just having 3/2s are great. Are Anarchs supposed to have the best fractors? Where are they? No, yeah, we talked about a bit about this last week. But the whole like classic color pie about each faction being the best at one type, mid at another type, and bad at another type is like pretty far gone at this point. That's not necessarily an issue, but like the best fractor right now, you've asked me, is Shaper. That's meant to be the mid fat fractor. The best killer probably is still Revolver, but like could be Echelon. And mind you, Shaper's meant to be the worst at killers. Classically, this is like 2012 coded, so this is kind of like talking to a dinosaur. And then when it comes to Anarch, they have the best decoder. They're meant to have the worst decoder, but they probably have the best decoder in the format. So like everything is kind of wrong. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's shifted since, you know, whatever 2012 has taught you. What? Anarch have the worst Fractor faction now? I think Anarch might have the worst Fractor. I think if I could spend no influence instead of playing Rising Tide, play Kurapira, I would consider it. The problem is you don't want to spend 3 influence on Kurapira. You have to play Rising Tide. And then if you have to play Rising Tide, you have to lose 2 more slots in your deck usually. It's just like bad. Like, just bad. I think to make Rising Tide interesting, you just need to print a Principia in Anarch. Like a Fractor typed card that gives you some sort of incidental forward value. And then like Rising Tide would actually be fun to play. Do you think Fully Up will get banned? I have no idea. I'd hope not. I've talked about this before. I don't know if we need an emergency ban list, but this Mega City was also won by a combo PD deck. So like people's fears are converting, and I do think people at that event were prepared for it. But I hope that they can more so deal with the efficiency of getting cards on the table and how hard it is to trash cards more than getting the payoffs. Because I think the payoffs are fun and interesting. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm a bit of a Fully Up like apologist. So you shouldn't have to listen to me, but like I think Fully Up is an interesting card that presents a lot of ways for the runner to interact. I'd rather have their interaction points be sharper than just saying you can't have this fun tool, because it's a really good tool. PD ban before Fully Up? Yeah, I'd agree with that too. All right, Scatterfield is cracked. We've seen a lot of cracked code gates from HB recently. Top down's better than it is. Mersha is a staple in what it is, and Nano Management unfortunately is a staple. Yogg would generally be crazy when Buzzsaw is good. I honestly think Yogg would be worse. If you trade Buzzsaw for Yogg, I am not convinced that Yogg would be better than Buzzsaw. The difference, so this was the original Buzzsaw. It came in for 5, which is a lot for a program. It broke code gates for free, but only strength 3 or less, which means for this to be good, you needed to support it with Leech and Ice Carver and other stuff, right? Like that's actually a really big upside of Buzzsaw. Is at the end of the day, if you run to a 4 strength code gate, you can still break a 4 strength code gate for 4 credits. That's not bad. Criminals are happy, or not happy, but they have to break some 4 strength code gates for 4, right? Like if you Shibboleth into what's it called? The thing that we just talked about, Scatterfield. What are you breaking for? You're breaking Shibboleth for 4 credits. Like that's market rate, right? If you ran with a Buzzsaw, you break it for 4 credits. That's market rate, unfortunately. Now, obviously, you can make this better by playing Leech and all the other stuff like Tungsten Taylor. But with Yogg, that's it. The face check fires. It definitely like stratifies the meta of like people just stop playing 3 strength code gates. Like that's the problem with Yogg. But we're at the point where people don't really play 3 strength code gates unless they're gear checks. And so like the difference between Yogg and Buzzsaw, I honestly think Buzzsaw might be better right now. While Saw's better than Yogg, Yogg was stronger in the world that existed in it. Yes, it did, but that's because we didn't have a big card pool of high strength code gates. There's like 3 high strength code gates in the whole game. But yeah, I honestly think if you just traded Buzzsaw for Yogg, it would actually be a downgrade because the amount of 5 strength code gates would actually force Anarchs to deal with it. They probably just move to Ice Destruction and destroy everything besides the small code gates. And so then the meta gets a bit weird because you just don't play low code gates. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Like, I honestly think the fact that Buzzsaw is flexible is an upside. It's expensive, but it's flexible. And generally, flexibility is way more important. To be like, I can deal with this ice no matter what, as long as you have credits, because you can have credits. Yogg, you can't deal with ice if you're in the bad board state. I hate clearing tags more than I hate losing the game, so I'm fine with saying ban. Clearing tags is not fun. PD is more problematic than R plus ever was. SPT is just biased against NBN. SPT is not biased. I think that's a weird thing to say. I don't know why the SPT would be biased. They want to make a fun game. They spend so much time testing to make a fun game. Do you think they're in secret meetings being like, oh, we can't ban an NBN card because secretly we're NBN fans? No, they're not. They can't be. It's just really hard problems to fix. I don't get that. There's no, like, I do think, like, I want in the same sentence, I'll say, like, I think no single games likes printing Anarch and Jinteki cards because they're fun to make. I think they're the factions that are most interesting to make cards, and maybe not the hardest faction to make cards for. I think it's easy to make Anarch cards to some extent. It's easy to put net damage on cards, and that's not to downplay the good cards they've made, but you know what I mean? Yo, Hexnet, what's up? Suppose Combo PD was the 2nd or 3rd best corp and not the best. I still think it's a huge problem because of its low interactivity and taking a 15-20 minute turn to execute. I don't think the turn should be 15 or 20 minutes. If it is, that's probably something bad happening. I agree with what you're coming from, but I think the combo turn's like 5 to 7 minutes. Bologna could perhaps be unbanned. I don't think so. I think they'll just print a new Bologna. I think Bologna in a world with Oppo and Revanche doesn't make a lot of sense. And explain Hoshiko. That was like 7 years ago. What do you want? People are not even working on the game anymore. Hoshiko is a really cool design. When Hoshiko came out, we thought it was bad. When Hoshiko came out, we looked at it and be like, that's not good enough. I'll just play Wizard or Val. Like, to be clear, things are so different. I know that you're joking, but like when Hoshiko came out, Hoshiko was not everywhere. Like people were like, that seems like mid-value. And the game has changed. Hey, Hexnet. Unban Banhard, punish combo PD. I mean, that could be real. I do think, but that has huge downsides. But yeah, if they can just get in. Explain Hoshiko. Explain discussion that's long gone. I mean, I don't mean it like that. I'm totally fine with people in chat, like, you know, come at me with stuff. But I've been summoned? Wait, Luna, why? Even if 5-7 min turns a little excessive, having to watch your opponent do nothing while they figure out when you win or lose is so enough. I agree. I agree. But I haven't been in a physical tournament in a while, so I might not be the best to ask. I'll be very clear about that. Her lore's so good. Yeah, her lore's good. Shideki cards. Ayuko busted. PT and Tien. A lot of people don't know the text of it. I would have to reread it to be 100% sure what the text is. That tells you something. Bite, Fut, Empiricist, somewhat Microweb, somewhat Samaximon, at least not anymore. Absurdly good cards. And Proprietary Negation is just not seeing enough play. It sees some play, but because the other Jinteki agendas are maybe a bit better. Mitra, Fire. Nebula, Fire. Like put it in the fire, not that it's fire. Man, Nebula. NBN stuff. NBN got some really good ice. The issue is like there's no obvious home for them. But like Mpod and Doomscroll are like really, I wouldn't even say fair. I think Doomscroll's not fair. I think adding incidental net damage to a faction that doesn't have a lot of incidental net damage on 3 credits like really changes how you have to play around them. The thing is like we won't appreciate that until like there is a mid-range NBN deck, which we clearly don't have. Public Access Plaza is less interesting than it turned out to be. It is interesting on turn 1 that you don't want to install it, but after turn 2, turn 3, people don't trash them. I think they should. It's just not fun to trash. It's more expensive than a pad campaign, so like I'm not sure it's exactly as interesting as it should be, but like I get where we're coming from. SPD doesn't have pet cards. Why was Hoshiko allowed to be the best runner for years? I remember when the entire ID discussion elevation was worse than Hoshiko. So they have a lot of articles talking about why that is, right? Like Hoshiko fundamentally was good Netrunner. There's always going to be best ID. Sure. There was generalist Netrunner, but also we had Essa, we had Seb. So like you didn't have to play Hoshiko. The thing is like Hoshiko was the best. In any meta, there's going to be one best generalist ID. Maybe argue right now that Shaper, you can't tell whether it should be Maggie or Lat, but like there's going to be a best, right? Like that's just how it works. I don't think the game was terrible because of Hoshiko. I think inherently Hoshiko is good Netrunner. Like Hoshiko makes you interact, makes you play the game, makes you touch cards. So like, I don't know. I don't fully understand that. Like you could say that about so many things. Like Bravado's been around forever. Why didn't they ban Bravado? It's in every deck. It's like, well, it's just Netrunner now, right? Maybe they did nothing wrong. Okay. I think BD's biggest sins are small deck size, consistent recursion of warping scoring cards, and ease of holding combo pieces. It's always good whenever you have scoring operations. Hosh was already good for new players. They wanted to try Anarch. Those ideas are important. Yeah, it was good Netrunner. It was genuinely good Netrunner. I never saw a Hoshiko game and been like, oh, like why are we doing this? Sure, maybe it should be banned because it's been around for a long time, but I think it's more so we need more cards so recursion, or not recursion, rotation can happen longer, but that's such a hard thing to tackle, right? Cool. Lat versus Mag is playstyle. I'm not sure any is strictly better. Yeah, and maybe that's fine. It's like maybe playstyle, unless you're playing against a PD meta, in which like don't pick Lat, I don't think. Ban 2 Lu because he's the best Anarch now. I mean, technically I think it's still Seb. We're looking at some Wayland cards. I mean, Swicky's fine. Greenmail is fine. Antil's really good. Really strong design. Really strong design. We're seeing more BOX than I want them to be. Shylander, don't love it. Kessleroid, don't love it. Measured, could take it. KPI is fine. The neutral ice was surprisingly good. Like I did not think we'd see as many neutral cards. NSG is like pretty stodgy with delivering neutral cards, and I think all the neutral cards they delivered were like pretty strong. Well, let's turn the page and see if that's the case. But Fly Swatter, great. Lamplighter, good. Actually, really quite good. Petty Cash, absurd. Okay, never mind. We have a Makota in there, but yeah. Bangoon, best goon. It's best goon. I can't read that any other way. Can't. No, Commodore knows what I think. I also think banning cards because the value is too good is always a slippery slope. There's always, never mind, Komodo's there. There's always a card that just has better value. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I hear you, but I think the bigger thing is we want change. It's not that it's a problem. And there is something good about wanting change for sure. Because we don't see enough change in this game. And that's just because one card release year is not exactly maybe what we're looking for. Oh yeah, for sure it's Goon. It's why so many banlist cards are there, because they just warp the format around them for some mechanical purpose. Okay, last is Liberation. I know that's it. We've done it. No Vantage Point. Ugh, this is 66 cards. How we're so far down the trail of just talking about cards. I forgot why we're here. These Anar cards are all really quite bad. Besides Tungsten Tailor, which is, it's to some extent meta warping, but all these cards are like super niche to unplayable. And when it comes to competitive, this is upsetting. Obviously it's upsetting, but like the runner side of the set was not particularly good. And this is the issue, is like, I mean, like, I want to shout out Nurse Hand, interesting. Hackerspace, interesting. Lampades, over designed, so it's not really playable. It's hard. It's really hard. Divus, solid, even good. I mean, I'd want to try it. Like, I had a good time playing Compromat on last week, and so you can build around it. But like, I would play maybe 2 dive, and that's calling it a day. Corsair's really fun. I don't get the hate. Crazy Brawn breaking stats. I mean, we're breaking Brawn for 4 credits. 2 of them have to be stealth, and we have to install 3 cards. I mean, like, I can play Propeller. You're right, it's better than Rising Tide, but like, I don't get it. The thing, like, with stealth, and we'll see this on Thursday, and mind you, Pat is joining us on Thursday, is that when it comes to a stealth deck, it's really bad for you to put all your breakers in the stealth pile, because then your limited stealth credits are taxed in 3 different directions as opposed to 1 or 2. And so Corsair seems to be the worst payoff. Maybe you can even cut the decoder, but the decoder's pretty good. But like After Image seems like the one that you definitely want to be spending stealth credits on. I don't know about Corsair. The fact that it also 0 strength is a pretty big downside, because there's a lot of 1 strength barriers in the game. I want to say Brawn is like the least popular it's been in a while, so I don't know. That is the same problem Phoenix has, is blank if your opponent only has ETR subs, which is not uncommon. On Centrals, though, it's not uncommon. Because on Centrals you usually put non-straight ETRs, so I'd be surprised. But it's like, it is a dead card until like a somewhat more specific board state than you think it is. Someone asked you what to buy and you gave a list, but then the people disagreed, so you started comparing how many hits each set has. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that sounds about right. Criminal stuff. I mean, Tailgate probably should see slightly more play than it does. But like, Underdome Regulars is a really cool card in Baz. But yeah, I don't have much to say about these. I enjoyed Vic, but like, let's be honest, I enjoyed DreamNet. Shaper. Oh no. Touchstone. It's a companion, so it sees play. Read Right Chair, sick card, 10 out of 10. Very interesting design, very fun to play, very interesting decisions. Like it a lot. Stowaway, good. Yeah, the runner side wasn't great, but like, you know that if you watch tier list, the corp side is pretty dang good. Melia City Luxury Line is one of the best 5/3s we've seen ever. Sleipnir is very good. We're not seeing a lot of it. Caviemptor is really good for the decks I want to play it. I don't care about these. Melee SU is maybe too good. Lotus Haze is gross. I hate it. Still have not played Knowledge Seeker in a deck, but I understand why it is good. 5-strength Codegate's good. Lion's Mane is really quite good. Cultivate is better than I think the amount of play it sees. Maybe you just don't need it. Unleash is really good. Red Room is probably cuter than it needs to be. We like 30-minute Arkham Marvel Tangent. I enjoyed that, man. I like talking about card games. I keep forgetting SEPA exists. Yeah, I don't know the text on SEPA. I don't. Borrowed Goods is such good flavor. Oh, I need to respond to something. But the Nice Folk, which I'm only like 50% sure how to pronounce their name, that did the stream for Berlin, Mega City, reached out. And they were talking about being on the translation team for Null Signal Games. And one of the things you have to do is translate like cards, obviously, and that can be kind of tricky. They are very happy, and it's why they renamed that channel. The name in German for Borrowed Goods translates to 5-finger discount, which like, that's sick. It's the German translation of it. I think that's a really good criminal card, but like, that's the sort of idea. When you do translations, you don't always have to do like literal translations. You have to do like meaningful translations. And so Borrowed Goods being called 5-finger discount as a criminal card, sign me up. That's awesome. I need to respond to someone on Discord. I'm not very good at that. Cultivate is really good. Yeah, Cultivate's a really good card. Cultivate feels like it has a home in the effed up AUCO combo kill deck that doesn't exist yet. I feel like there's still a lot of AUCO stuff that exists. I've seen Seep exactly one time in a Hermes deck playing 3 Compromat. It was funny. Ooh, oh, in Dow, not Hermes, in a Dow deck. Any talk on the new Link to Play video yet? No, but I have it open in a tab. We just have been here for a while, Jake. How's it going? Borrow Goods straight cost 0. I don't think it'd see play unless Bankroll is reprinted. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, Jinteki cards. So far, so good. NBN. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if I feel great about editorial, so Witch Hunt kind of falls in the same category. Revanchula is really, really strong. Very, very good card. Nihilo Agent is one of the coolest Netrunner cards ever printed. I don't care what it does. It's so cool. Grubber is, honestly, NBN Brawn is said a lot, and I don't disagree with that. This card's actually nice. I like it. It's just not an obvious home for it. Flood the Market is very important, and Hype Machines, again, a very cool card. And I do like that we have cool cards that are not obviously busted, but can be powerful in the right brew and have a good forward future life. Hype Machine sick. Saxon's cool. It's a cool card. Event Horizon, really interesting. Side grade. People are playing Toxin as a toll booth. I mean, Flywheel's also a really cool card. It's just hard to find slots for it. 5 more cards. Seep at work. Dow on a card plus Dow seems like fun. VP really knocked out the park on the flavor. Yeah, VP has really good flavor. And, you know, some of it was that the set was like totally unchained. They were just like, do whatever you want. That obviously helps. Sometimes like creativity is actually encouraged by limitations, but yeah, no, I like a lot of the flavor of the set. I don't care for Mewshu. Ultra Fun's fine. Flagship, I'm not a big fan of it. Shackleton shouldn't exist. And Let Them Dream is, oh my god, are we just going to tangent all today? Is this what we're doing? I guess we have to tangent slightly because I cannot talk about this. So we posted a video on Monday, and it was the finals for the Montreal Districts 2026. It's not a very long game. And I actually slowed down the footage at the beginning because we didn't have enough footage to talk about the agenda suite of this deck. And this is also something that came up on Measured Response, which if you don't know is the Sengrins and Saviors podcast on the Sengrins channel, where every Thursday they do a call-in show and they talk about, you know, Netrunner questions that people can call in or send in an email or whatever, or on Discord, I think. And the agenda suite of this deck is an agenda suite that existed back in the 2603 meta, but also exists now in the 2605 meta. It did not change because we saw a lot of these like Flood the Market, horizontal, fully operational decks. And this is technically that sort of deck, but instead of playing Off-World Office, which was one of the targeted bans to hit this deck, it was not playing that. It was playing an agenda suite that I would say is more cursed. Now, the thing is, we're not talking about this a lot because currently the PD deck that is like, you know, the boogeyman in the room is the PD deck that's only running 6 3-pointers and comboing off on turn 4, supposedly sometimes. We've seen that. And that's obviously not good. I think any deck that can only run 6 3-pointers from an 18-point deck is not going to be fun because the runner has to steal 3 of literally half the agendas in the deck to have a chance of winning the game. And it's hard to do that fast when technically, numerically, you need about 20 accesses on random centrals to get there. So that's not good. But we do need to talk about this deck a bit, just so you know about it, because the numbers are weird and they don't seem particularly great. Oh, not you. It's not you. Get it? That's this card, right? So the agenda suite we're looking at today is an 18-point agenda suite because we're playing precision design. So we only need 18 to 19 agenda points if we don't put more than 44 cards in our deck, which we won't. So we have 3 of these in our deck. So 9 points of our deck is Melia City Luxury Alliance, right? 9 points out of 18. So half the deck numerically is Melia City Luxury Alliance. Now the other 3 more points in the deck are Mega Pre-Qualifiers. This is a 1-point agenda for the runner and even for the corporation. But once one of these is in a score area, the following Mega Pre's are 2-pointers. So that doesn't exactly matter, but it just means it's easier for the corporation to win out because the corporation now functionally has about 20 points in their deck while actually only having 18. So the corporation, it's easier to score to 7. And this is not a kill combo deck. It does need to score to 7. And of course, the last agenda in the deck is 3 copies of Flood the Market, which is a 2-pointer for the runner. Sorry. Wow. Let Them Dream, which is a 2-pointer for the runner, but a 1-pointer for the runner, but a 2-pointer for the corporation. So the agenda suite again is 3 Melius, which is 9 points, 3 Mega Pre, which brings it up to 12 points, and then 6 more points of Let Them Dream, which brings you to 18, which is the whole agenda suite. I think this agenda suite is such a nightmare because if you don't touch a Melia City Luxury line, you literally cannot win the game. Again, the deck has 6 agendas in it. You can steal 6 agendas and be on 6 points because they're all functionally 1-pointers. That means, again, to be able to win the game, you have to functionally fight for one of the 5-3s, which is saying you have to find 3 cards in 44 or you cannot win this game. That is a really tall ask, right? Like we've seen decks before with like Government Takeover that kind of fall into the same category. Maybe not as polarized, but we've had decks that play as few agendas as possible. And if they're only running like 5-3s or fake 5-3s and a Government Takeover, it kind of comes out to that you can't win the game unless you find the one Government Takeover in the deck. And this card got banned as a result of these sort of lists, right? Like that wasn't healthy. Nobody liked it. But Government Takeover is the same sort of idea. If you can't find this one agenda, we can make it nearly impossible for you to win the game. Now, instead of 1, it's 3, and it's 3 Melia City Luxury Lines. But like, it's not only can you not win if you don't find a Melia City Luxury line. What about if you see 1 Melia City Luxury line? If you steal 1 Melia City Luxury line, how many more agendas do you have to steal to win the game? It's wild. You still need to steal like 5 more agendas on average to win the game. Because if you steal 1 Melius, you're on 3 points. If you steal 2 more 1-pointers, you're on 5 points. If you steal 2 more 1-pointers, you're on 6 points. Like, the only way to win the game on 4 agenda steals is to steal 2 out of 3 Melius City luxury lines. Again, the only way to win the game on 4 agenda steals is stealing 2 out of the 3 Meliuses. That's nonsense. That is, have to snipe 2 out of 3 specific in the agendas in the deck to have a chance of winning the game on 4 agenda steals. On average, you're winning on 6 agenda steals, where you have to steal 5 1-pointers and a Melius. That seems a bit much. The more I've been thinking about that, the more it's kind of like gotten at me. Where like, I'm not going to spoil the results of this game, but like, again, if you don't see 2 Melius City luxury line, it's really, really, really hard to win the game. You need 1. Like, there's games where you win on 7 agenda steals because you can steal 1-pointer, 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 1-pointer Melius. But if you don't steal 2 out of 3, you need to steal like 5 or 6 agendas. It's nonsense. There's something soothing about hearing Melius City Luxury Line. It's like, I don't love it, this part of the name. I wish it was just City Luxury Line or something to it. But yeah, I like saying Luxury Line. It does sound nice. But yeah, this is an agenda suite that's like not super common right now because people are playing a different HBPD. But like, this agenda suite is really, really weird. And the reason I bring this up is that they were talking on Measured Response about like, how do you feel so far about the, you know, the results of this card? And like, I do agree with what they say a fair bit. And it made me, again, think about this, where it's like, Let Them Dream has, of course, increased the defensibility of corporations, kind of flat statement for all corporations, because they don't just get like run over by a couple lucky accesses. Like, that's really good. But on the other side, it does put a lot of those accesses that makes the game more volatile, right? Like, the Let Them Dreams are worth so much unless you find the 2 Meliuses, right? So like, there's certain games where the runner has to steal like 7 agendas, and there's certain games where the runner still wins on 4. And that difference is like variance. Obviously, over long enough, over, you know, many games, on the average number of agendas to steal just goes up. But it feels incredibly volatile. Like, if you don't steal an earliest Melius City luxury line, I don't think you can win that matchup, period. You just can't. Mariel fan, me is happy that a train is goated. Could Counterpoint runner touch a single 1-point and Hermes reprise my hard-earned board? I mean, like, Wenjong, I agree with on that counterpoint to a fair bit of to a lot. Like, maybe there's more reprise windows, but it's weird. I don't know if we've seen an agenda suite that's specifically this weird, this ugly. Just unban Luminol so they greeted to a worse agenda suite. I mean, it's probably not going to be worse, but it's really funny for the combo deck. Because like, if the combo deck scored out what's called the Luminol, they actually can't combo anymore because like, they have to stop scoring. It's really kind of funny. How's it going, by the way, Solomon? Just keep that in mind. That is something that's worth, and I talk about it at the beginning of this video here. It's like really, really hard to touch these the right points here, but it's a very strange. 4 agenda Scorp was more ugly. 6. Yeah. 4 agenda Scorp was more ugly. Where but like, that did get banned out at some point. Luminol would force you into a 2-turn line. Active policing. Cool. Anyways, let's do some new stuff because we have to play some Netrunner. Man, we've been talking for a bit, huh? This was this weekend. It was the mega cities on the West Coast. So this is in Vancouver. Shout out to Sundara and all the folks out there. I think Solomir was doing some judging too. I would be surprised if there's any other way. Great judge. And you can watch it. It'll link in the description. This is the top cut. It has commentary as well from different people from all over. Some of these people are on the West Coast, but it isn't always the case. Never at my talk show. I wonder if the game breaks, or instead of printing LTD, they were like, corps just need 2 less agenda points. I mean, that's functionally what Let Them Dream does, but then the way it plays out, it's a fair bit more volatile than that, right? Solomir was our head judge. I mean, that is a well-equipped team. Shout out. I'm a huge Solomir fan. So if we want to look really quickly at some of the results from this, so we can see it, because the thing happened. The thing that nobody wanted to happen happened. We had 28 people, which is actually pretty good for a mega city. So Canada has some really big events this last month, which is great for the mega cities. In terms of what we expected here on the breakdown, Moosely Hot is still number 1, followed by a fair bit more Vic than I think we've seen at any tournament. And then we have Essa into Lu. So it's the same number. It's only 4. And then the whole back wedge is like a third, kind of pretty nice. We're expecting here to be mostly Melius and Aiko, followed by Epiphany and PD. This is actually only 2 Epiphany players. Now, it's only a 28-person event or whatever, but 2 PD players is surprisingly low, and I do think they probably had a very good conversion rate. I think going into this tournament, people understood that the PD combo deck was probably the deck to beat. Of course, the other deck to beat is Melius and Aiko, and I have no doubt they're converting really, really well. There was one other mega city this weekend. We're gonna jump over that really quickly because that had a really like I would say maybe a polarized meta. But this is a Swiss mega city that was run by Lost Geek. Shout out to Lost Geek. This was a smaller event, so we'll see how many players it is. But this is the sort of representation. Yeah, like half the pool is Anarch. Again, the numbers are smaller because the numbers smaller. Smelius and then Ayuk over here, but smaller player count. This is kind of more what you expect, right? Like the top cut here is 3 PDs and a Melies, and then it's only Anarchs on this side. Which is like, again, it's a top 4 cut. As soon as you go down to top 8, it opens up a bit more. But like, it's just this. I think we're going to see a wider spread when it comes to Vancouver. So top 8 cut was really good. Like a lot of these names are incredible Netrunner players. And then you do see something a bit more diverse, which is great. So you actually see all factions on this side. On this side, no Wayland snakes through, which like, I guess if you're gonna pick a faction not to make it. And I do know the West Coast has a lot of really good Epiphany players, and you actually see them. Like this is almost half the top 8 is Epiphany, which I'm not sure which runner you're most favored into this. So no idea how that matchup goes. Boosie Hot can do it sometimes. But yeah, a lot of the names here are phenomenal players. Yeah, very, very cool. You have the Lose there at the top. I think the Loon to Epiphany matchup is probably the matchup you want to be taking. But then the winning deck is Laura. I was told that Laura came in. None of the PD Switzerlands were combo. Oh, good catch. Okay, sick. That's good to know. That's really good to know. So Laura published her deck. I was told that Laura came in second last year at the Mega Cities. Is that correct? Laura traveled in, which is awesome. Always good to see people do it. And I think this might just be strict card from card for the deck list of the week. I don't know if there's any changes here. If they are, they're very, very small. I think it's like 1 less Sleipnir, 1 more Scatterfield. I think that's the only change I can see here. But we played this deck on stream last week. I had a bunch of YouTube comments asking about what is parity. We forgot to explain parity. I need to slow down and remember we have to explain people or explain terms that like nothing is a given in this game. So when we talk about parity in the deck, which is basically if the number of cards left in R&D is even, the reason why having parity on the combo turn matters is all the cards that we have in our deck that draw cards always draw an even amount of cards. So you see throughout the tournament, and if you watch the VOD too, I imagine Laura is counting her deck because if it has an even amount of cards left in the deck, she knows when she plays things like Fully Operational, Spin Doctor, Red Level Clearance, all these cards draw an even amount of cards. So you can guarantee you draw your whole deck because again, everything draws even. So you want to make sure you're comboing usually on turns that are even. Sometimes you'll fire on an odd turn, I imagine, and just hope. Specifically, if you already have all the combo cards in your hand, you don't need to draw your whole deck, and or you can always just get a bit lucky if you need to get a bit lucky. But this is the sort of list that scores, again, 6 points in a single turn, usually 2 Melias City Luxury lines, and then hits the runner with a Neurospike. People should have been prepared for this. I think in the write-up, there was 1 or 2 good burners, probably. I think Sokko's playing burner. Got the same sort of skeleton as the combo list, but without the combo. Oh, they do. Laura's from Vancouver. Andre just spends most of her time out east. Oh, shit. Okay, that makes way more sense. Okay, cool. So she's been traveling out the other direction. That's really cool. Yeah, I think every time I've seen Laura, it's been like, yeah, East Coast stuff. Yeah, congratulations. That's sick. On the runner side, I think the list is on the bottom with my sappy runner write-up. And this is going to be Lat. And this list I think is super, super interesting. So we've seen a bunch of players play this sort of list. Audrey in Shaper. That's really cool. Technically with Audrey, you can always discard a card from your hand to get Lat hand size if it matters, which sometimes it does. But the big interaction point here, of course, is you can play Buffer Drive. And then we're only on 1 Steel Skin. Usually we've seen 3 Steel Skins, 3 Strike Funds. That's been like the package that Tuno started playing, I believe, last year, maybe. But we're actually opened up more influence in other directions. And Audrey's not the only breaker, but it's maybe the main breaker once you're set up. It's also just a nice combo card. And you also have the Strike Fund Buffer Drive engine once you get to the bottom of your deck. And very importantly, you can fire Buffer Drive and Onacom on your opponent's turn. So you can always just like cycle a card, kind of like you're playing Flesh and Blood and getting rid of some instants, which is really cool. Things are interesting. 2 rigging ups. I think that's cool. I think you need to play enough events in Onacom Shaper. Also allows you to get cards out of hand quickly, which can matter after you draw with, I was going to say Nuka, but it's not on this list. But even if you get an Onacom down, Onacom will see the rigging up getting trashed, which is quite nice. Deep Dive is the win condition. I don't think we have any hard click gainers besides Hannah, which like Hannah is still just a good card in the matchup. We have a single Azimut, so that's good. We have 2 Specworks. Do we have, well, 1 Specwork, and we do have 1 Coalescence for some value off of the Simulchip. Holy few resources. I mean, like, hey, we're Shaper. Shaper generally cares about programs. We're Onacom, so we care about events. So like, we're just playing 1 Hannah and 2 daily casts, which like, I get it. It makes a fair bit of sense. Yeah, this list looks like hella fun. Like, it genuinely looks really quite fun. Yeah, when you bottom out, infinite 4-credit drip is so good because if you don't know how this works, when you have no cards left in your deck on the opponent's turn, you can use Buffer Drive. Well, you use Audrey. You just trash a card to your grip for +3 strength. It doesn't stay the strength. It just, you can technically fire this paid ability window. You trash a Strike Fund. You use Buffer Drive to put it on the bottom of your deck. Then Onicum fires and you draw the buffer drive. And so you just clicklessly got 2 credits. Then you can technically do it at the start of the corporation's turn, which does the same loop again. And so clicklessly, you're getting 4 credits every turn cycle, which is very, 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 very good. You can do that in Anarch, of course. You don't have Onicom. You just need a way to draw clicklessly or just click to draw, which Hoshiko used to be able to do this very easily. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see this because this list seemed a bit like it was making concessions by spending so much influence on Steel Skins and Strike Funds. And Steel Skins, mind you, is 2 influence as opposed to Strike Fund, which is 1. But the list has been opened up. You're actually playing a Pinhole, you're playing a Revolver, you're playing a Hannah, and all that stuff makes a lot of sense. That's really, really quite cool. I think this is probably a lot of fun. Highly recommend this deck. It's fun. Yeah. I definitely want to play this at some point. It seems like a lot of fun. What was I going to say? I forget what I was going to say. The 1DZ's cute too. I guess we need a lot of MU, huh? Yeah, neat. Congratulations. You can watch all this stuff too. It's great. It's all online. It reminds me of the Catboy deck from last meta. That is exactly it. That's built on that sort of standards. I think the Catboy deck was Tuno's list. And again, that deck was running all the strike steel skins. Oh yeah, what I was going to say is like, I was expecting this deck to run more steel skins just because that's one of the weird ways that instant speed to deal with PD combo. I don't know, Laura, if you played against PD combo, but like having steel skins and an Audrey on the table means that you can always translate 1 card to 2 cards with Onicom. So it's harder for them to do 6 damage. I guess they just score 9. You're putting the VODs on YouTube. Okay, that's so good to hear because that's always the bummer is like great streams happen and then they're on channels that don't archive them because you can't archive infinitely on Twitch unless you have like a big followership, which is already hard to get to on its own merit. And then everything's lost. And like these things need to be archived because it's a good production, let alone they're great games. So yeah, good to hear. That's really good to hear, Sandarian. Cool. This came out today. No, not today, yesterday. Cybershark posted this new learn to play resource. So a video just came out. I was on the Null Single Games website. So they worked. Oh, now you got to watch an AI ad of someone hawking some pressure washer. Do you know what I should do? Instead of like increasing my face, I'm just going to hide the background. Yeah, that's easier. That's way easier. We just live in a black void. Yeah, so there's just like kind of like back in the day, because FFG always had one of these. It's like a well-animated explainer video. It's not a learn to play, but it walks you through the first games. Now, your first turns. I'll be honest, I haven't sat down and watched the whole thing yet, but I do believe it's just running through the teaching script, like the learn to play script, which has a deck that doesn't care about influence or all that sort of stuff. And I think this just plays out the script where it's like, on this turn, we're going to install a green mail behind the ice and not fast advance it and stuff like that. So everything is meant to like teach you some rules, like tags come in, damage come in, ice fires, icebreakers happen. It's polished. It's really good. I think the person that they worked with who did that is Zarthben, and Zarthben classically does these sort of videos for CCGs and TCGs and stuff like that. So I reckon that NSG reached out and got this done, which is good because having more resources like this on their channel is fantastic. They currently have one learn to play video, which came out, I want to say in 2022, which I mean, probably could be updated. The game's not that different rules wise, but yeah, this is good. I couldn't have played into PD combo since it was only me who took it. That's so weird. Did you prepare for it though? Like, I don't think you had any hard tech for it besides like the Onicom, I guess. And that's hard for it to be tech because you only translate 1-to-1. Anyways, this is great. I'm glad that NSG worked in this. The cute thing that you can't hear is a lot of the sound effects for doing things are actually the sound effects from Jinteki.net. So like when the runner takes a credit, it's the credit sound from that. And I think when they run, it's the same sound as well. The new script is awesome. The video is amazing. Yeah, I need to watch all of this. Similarly, Eric Hayden. I was just going to search Eric Hayden. That's not going to work. Neon Static put out this video as well. And I think there's more of them coming. I don't know. Eric might want to re-upload this. I think there's some technical issues at some point. I watched it. I don't think the technical issues were as bad as Eric thinks they are, but that's usually how making content works. But it's not scripted. It's just Eric and Nick playing through with a full card pool. So it's not like core or startup or anything like that, and explaining what they're doing. I also haven't watched this yet, but I look forward to. But this sort of content's really good, and there's more stuff like this coming. At some point, Pat and I sat down to do this, and we had like a technical issue with it, but we played some really good games in just System Gateway explaining what we're doing and why we're doing. But this sort of content is so good for newer players. So link in the description. Maybe, I don't know if you're a new player, how you'd watch this to get there, but hopefully you found it. This is great stuff, and I think they streamed last night. I don't know if there's much hard tech for the deck. Burner eye for eye compilation to sweep the hand for the combo and try to eliminate the flop, sweep the train. You can play some combo stuff, some protection. If you can have more than 6 cards in hand or 6 cards in hand, they have to like work a bit harder, and you can play some disruption. So there's some things you can do. Pinhole's also really good. The mark cards to indicate centrals is inspired. I have to remember that when teaching. Yeah, a lot of people forget the language of which each thing is, and so having the cards there, I think is actually really quite nice. So this is good. I imagine this turned out quite nice. Hear me out, word on the street, it does not do enough. It does not do enough. They just have to put a card on the table. Like, Word on the street matters if they only fast events the whole combo. And then like you have one more card in hand, I guess. But firstly, your deck is so much worse than the rest of the field, so that's already a downside. But also, as long as they just put the 5-3 on the table and score the first 5-3, this pops and it doesn't do anything. Right? Like it just goes into their negative agenda points, and that doesn't matter because it does not impact Neurospike. Neurospike cares about printed agenda points, not number points. Yeah, you know, but the more thing is this text, is that if the Corp fast advances their first point, you will have 6 cards in hand. So this actually could be relevant. The thing is the Corp just needs to score the first 5-3 on the table. Yeah, exactly. It's also just sounds straight up worse than Stone Chip or any other tech you have. Yeah. At least Stone Chip is like a playable card and can let you fire Lat into PD. So like it has some value, I guess. But it's fine. It's fine. It's 2:30. Do we even have time to build a deck? I don't know if we have time to build a deck. We need to be done the stream at about 3:30. So we have an hour to build a stealth deck and play it. I mean, I don't know if we can. Can we? No, Word on the Street does nothing versus Neurospike. It can put you to 6 cards in hand. So it could. Yeah, play the lore last list. I think we will. I think we just will. The name of the stream won't make a lot of sense, but maybe we'll change it. I don't know. My secret combo tech for PD is looking bored during the combo turn and then making my opponent ever so slightly uncomfortable. I think that's against the play policies. I don't think you could say that. That's the non-FA text? Yeah. But if they FA their first 5-3, they're in a bad spot. And sometimes Neurospike doesn't have an agenda on the table. They usually do, though. The Corp has to not put the first. Hold on. What's the text on Word on the Street? I do want to say I lost my copy of Word on the Street, and like I don't think I care that much. When the Corp scores an agenda, they did not install this turn. Yeah. So if you have a 5-3 already on the table, you're right. This is bad. But if they just score everything from hand, this text doesn't matter. So yeah, as long as you just full fast advance, the text is not relevant. But if I had it backwards. If you have a 5-3 already on the table, this text is relevant. You just want to overinstall it. So it shouldn't be that bad. Today is Stealth Flu, so you can reuse the title. Yeah, but we play the Thursday Stealth Flu. Yeah, on Thursday. Pat will be joining, so maybe we can reuse the title. I don't know how that's going to be for the algorithm. All right, I do like playing Onicum. I do like playing Lat. Those are quite nice. I'm not the most practiced Audrey player. I do now know how this works. I always get it backwards between subroutines and strength, which needs counters, which needs cards. I'm used to, I guess, Faust, but that's not really a good answer. I don't love playing Deep Dive, but we have a Deep Dive. We have a Singleton Burner as well. Our economy is we're on all the sure gambles we can play. Creative, sure gamble, strike fund. We have spec work as well. Rigging up is a soft sure gamble. It's a pretty good card. Yeah, we should be good. Throw together Stealth Crim so you don't have to think about the 35 of the cards. Like, how long would it take us to build a Stealth Crim? So I want to play Az. I think if you play Stealth Crim, you can play Az. You can play Baz too, but I think I want to play Az. I think I do. Right? Do you have your own altered card art? Kind of. Sort of. Killer, how's it going? I have this. So this was an anniversary present for my loving partner. You can't see it because we're live, but there's a Matt Zellinger of me. I haven't put it on a card yet. If I do, it would probably be on Daily Casts, which did get unbanned, which is good, but I can't distribute it for money. But I probably should get it on a card. My hot take is Audrey's better than Faust. Hey, Ba, how's it going? I would definitely not agree, but I could see where we got there. I think Audrey can get purged. You can't purge Faust. The fact that it only like breaks small stuff for free is pretty good. But no, Faust like warped the whole game. Audrey's not warping the whole game right now. Like Faust was the whole game plus plus. Nice to see you Tuesday streams, although sorry to hear why that is. Yeah, no, thank you though. That's very kind. Could be worse, I guess. Okay, we're gonna build a stealth deck. So for a stealth deck, we have to have stealth generators, we have to have stealth payoffs, and we're not gonna be playing 3 stealth breakers because generally that's too much. Whereas, so we want to play jobs or connections or hardware. That shouldn't be that hard. The problem is instead of playing Hermes, I'm gonna play something cuter because I love Masterwork, but we'll see how we get there. The 1x goal is to play simulchip tech sometimes. Yeah, I hear that. I think just being able to flicker for 4 credits is like just good enough in a lot of matchups. Stealth payoff being Baker and after image is probably enough. Yeah, I'm like not 100% sure we even play Baker. We probably do, but like I think the stealth payoff is honestly like after image and twinning is enough. Like I don't know if you need Baker. We'll definitely try it, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the card that we draw on like turn 3 and we just throw out because the way that it is. Let's put in some must play cards. So Az generally wants to be running a fair bit because we have Masterwork. It's a card that gets you benefit from running. Because when you run, you can install hardware for one fewer, but as makes, sorry, one more, but as makes the hardware one fewer. So they kind of balance out. So you just get a click back. Also, the first time you install hardware, which includes the masterwork, you draw a card and you install the masterwork cheaper. Now you technically only want to be playing masterwork if you have enough hardware in your deck, and there's not that much stealth hardware stuff. So this probably at the end of the day is just a better Hermes deck in general. And we get a bit of value off of as, which means you might not have to play this in as at least sets up somewhat cheaper and guarantees your value. I don't think we're gonna have enough run events for Moosey Hot. Vic and DreamNet could make sense, and then our runs get really, really, really cheap. So I think you can go in many different directions. Yeah, if the cards out for free when people purchase a grid shirt, I mean, honestly, that's a way to deal with it. But like, I don't like Knives Paw. Yeah. I just need to figure out what card it is, because if it's daily cast, I want to make sure it's around forever. I don't know what else to put my face on, I'll be honest. I also want to make the card horizontal, but I don't think legally you can make daily cast a horizontal card. I think the rules say that the card has to be the same. Which I guess the ice doesn't do that. So why is that a rule? We'll play 3 transfer. We'll play some sure gambles, I think. Let's look at stealth. So we're going to do X stealth, which will show us all the cards with the word stealth on it. That's actually not true. That's all the cards with the rules text stealth on it. We also need to search K stealth, which will give us all the cards with the stealth trait on it. So we'll have to do both. So I'm just going to open up all these windows and see what has the word stealth on it. So there's only one hardware with the word stealth on it. So it's probably better that we do K stealth in a second. Is the deck play move Safecracker? It's probably not this one. I think this card is just worse than Twinning. This allows you to spend a credit on a stealth card to see additional card from HQ, which maybe that's a bit better with Baker. I guess we can try it for the sake of it because it's hardware, but 2 credits for 1 access from R&D seems a bit worse than Twinning. That being said, this is multi-access, so it's nice. But when Twinning came in the same like sort of cycles, this is kind of, oh, it didn't actually. Twinning came later, right? This can't be right touchstone as hardware. Yeah, so the thing is like, huh? Something's wrong. Yeah, the thing is we didn't search X, we have to search K or whatever subtype is, because stealth is not in the rules text. We were just searching rules text. So it should be K stealth. Is it not K? Is it S? It's different on, yeah, it's S. It's different on different CDBs. K is on Arkham DB. Yeah, I know X is type, not subtype, but I think subtype is K for some reason. And I think that's what it is on Arkham DB. Yeah, K is Arkham DB, S for subtype is on Netrunner. So in terms of the stealth stuff, in terms of events and hardware, we have Air Check, which we're probably not going to play. It's a bit of influence. We have Methuselah, which we're definitely not going to play. We don't have enough hardware, let alone we have different hardware payoffs. And then we have Touchstone, which for Touchstone to be good, we probably have to be playing like, I mean, it's cheap because it's an event, but we probably have to be playing about 17 events. We can maybe play one of them. It's not a bad card on its own, but we have to be playing enough events. We're already on 12, so we should get there. Let's just check the other stealth stuff. So on programs, this is the only stealth recurring credit on the program side. There's a bunch of cards that have stealth in their text, but not in their subtype. So we'll put one mantle as like a pigeon, as a dog ear, and we'll come back to it. This is, yeah, it doesn't work like this. You have to do that. Okay. So after image is the reason why we play stealth. In criminal, sentries are really good right now. Being able to get our strength up for stealth credits is already pretty good. And we break 1 for 2. Doesn't have to be stealth. So you're already in a good spot. 2 strength is dealing with some sentries you're face checking into, like an enemy, I guess. But bypassing something like a big old snake or the scientist for 2 stealth credits is really quite good. There's a very big reason to play this. We technically can play 2 of these. We could, or we could play mutual favor to find them. Mutual favor might be a bit better with touchstone, but it's hard to tell how many like breakers you want in criminal. We'll find out. As is resources and hardware. Yeah, resources, hardware, specifically the resources, those jobs and connections. But yeah, programs don't really work. Penrose is not a bad card. I could like this. The thing is like the code gate slot in criminal is like a bit wishy-washy. The other option though in criminal is if we want to play code gate breakers, we don't have better options. There's a chance that we actually like just go play Buzzsaw and then we play Tungsten Tailor anyways. And Tungsten Tailor is just a good card with all breakers, let alone has hardware synergy. So I could see that being right. And we do something like this. And then for a Fractor, we just play Kurapira, which gets a fair bit better with Tungsten Tailor. But otherwise is like not bad at all. TTT or Leech preserves boosting for drafter might be important. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bringing this up to functionally 3 strength is really important. There's a lot of 3 strength sentries that matter, and spending 2 for drafter, that's a fair bit worse than spending 1 for drafter. So I could see this, and it is technically a hardware, so maybe it's worth playing. We have Baker and Mantle, so our hardware is already, or our hardware slots are already kind of full. In theory, like Chesva also makes sense, but maybe Mantle and Chesva are kind of the same position. The reason why Mantle is a bit better is that if we have the twinning, we can charge it on the off turn. We can charge it on the runner's turn, sorry, on the corporation's turn. Worth noting, you can pay any 1 strength differential card, Game Dragon, and break a lot of the common sentries 1 for 2 with After Image without stealth. Oh yeah, for sure. And that's why I think we want to go for Tungsten Tailor, because I think it's a bit nicer than Game Dragon, because Game Dragon is a bit more draw or dependent. Actually, not entirely, but yeah, it is slightly less on influence, slightly less on cost. So Game Dragon is not a terrible card, and I've tried to play Game Dragon Buzzsaw and Criminal before. The issue is like installing this for 4 kind of sucks. Just play Corsair's the GOAT. I mean, I don't think so. Cut Chesva as saves a lot of money. You don't need to repeatedly run centrals with this build. You do. Well, it depends what our build is. Like, but fundamentally, as does need to run centrals a lot. And it depends what kind of as you're playing. But if we're playing like Masterwork Prognostic as, we really incentivizes us to have recurring credits for making those runs. Because when you're running, you can use your Chesva during the Masterwork run, and that's where this becomes really, really good. If you play Prognostic Q Loop, that's where having the Chesva credits are really good because you can make runs. So all of that makes a fair bit of sense for why you actually want multiple Chesvas. So what about Penrose? Penrose is not bad. The thing is with Penrose is it that much better than playing Buzzsaw? It's 1 credit more. It requires stealth for most breaks. It's like not even that much better. Buzzsaw is less influence. It's not bad though. Like you're breaking 5 strength Cody Gates, which they do exist for cheap. The barrier text on this I don't think is gonna be super relevant. The list needs Taka. It probably does, and we have like 3 influence left over for this and 1 more card. We have 4 influence left over. So that should be enough stealth, but like, I honestly don't think this Baker is worth anything. It's cute that it works with Safecracker, right? When you make a successful run on, wait, does it even work? Yeah, I think you do. I think it does. Throw in a leech. I don't think we want to throw in a leech because ultimately we have like, I think the Chesva is going to do more than the leech is where I'm trying to get at, right? Because if we're going to be playing the sort of hardware engine we think we're going to, those recurring credits are much more valuable to set up. Refractor was so much better. Yeah, Refractor was a fair bit better. Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure. What are the as resources we're playing? So we're going to play the class acts. Cool. We probably need to figure out what our console is. Do you have enough events for 1x touchdown? We're going to add more events, but maybe not. I think we're going to add a couple more. Like the thing is, if we have Chesva, also we can play Pinhole. So we could do something like this. There's no 1 MU card to gain MU that we want to play here. What's up, Metropole? You coming to Wasteland this year, July 11th? Yo, Z-Bag, I saw you posted about it. I'm really hoping to, man. The Wastelands are just the coolest. I think always at some point in July, my partner and I will go to Burlington to hang out with the family. And if we can make that make sense, it's good to know this ahead of schedule. That would be a good time to do it. Traveling is a bit harder this year because of like finance stuff, but yeah. I think we can make it make sense. Man, if you don't know, if you're in Southern Ontario, if you want to go to Z-Bag's Suburban Wasteland tournaments, they're held at his house. They're killer events. They're really, really great. Yeah, console slot, like maybe we just do Hermes and not care and say like, we don't have to play all these slots for this hardware support, but then like, maybe we don't have to be as. Hope to see you, but it's all good either way. Yeah, no, thanks for reaching out. And like, I really do look forward to it if we can make it make sense. When playing the Stealth Loop and Penumbral seems a lot better than Touchstone unless you're on quite a few events or 2x Touchstone. Oh, I think we can still play Penumbral in this deck. The issue is like they ice up HQ more heavily than they do against everything else. Oh, we probably should be playing Boomerang or 2. Card's really good in ads. Okay, do we have enough money? I don't think we do. We only have like a couple recurring slots, like Taka, Mantle, Chesva. We don't have Paladin, we don't have Mystic, so we don't have like the setup slow economy. Does Az have enough triggers in this deck? I'm like not 100% sure. I really want to cut the Baker because we don't have MU. We'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we lose one of our breakers, we're also cooked. Like that is just the truth. So we could play 2 of each. I don't know if that's worth anything. We could also just play Mutual Favors. But if we lose a breaker, we're kind of cooked besides like having 2 Boomerangs. If we want to play Recursion, it's like 2 influence for a Praxis, which Praxis is not terrible when you can also bring back Penumbrals. Second damage I'm taking right now is you consider cutting Baker before cutting Moose Safecracker. I mean, Moose Safecracker is a hardware, right? And it doesn't take up MU. So I could see it making more sense. Do open market info bounty for the as triggers. Oh yeah, info bounty. Maybe open market like makes a lot of sense, but I don't think we have that many triggers with it. Like open market comes down for 1. We install Class Act for 3 on a following turn. Like that's not bad. Underdome, I would be surprised if Underdome is worth it in anybody else besides Baz, because the click to install this is not particularly good. So taxing hotel stars when you need them for your breakers. I mean, but we've already made it in. Why do we need them on our breakers? We're already there. But like we can easily cut this, and specifically because we're not playing Masterwork, I probably think we should cut it. Want another hardware slot? Like, I want to play a DZ or something. How many Aztecs have you built? This is like the 400 just on stream. I don't think we've built a lot of decks on stream this year, I'll be honest. Like, We've been not building that much. We've been streaming less than we normally do, but like this is my deck list. Like, how long does it take to find an As deck? Ooh, longer than you thought. Ooh, much longer than they thought. This one, well connected, no meetings, and this was back in timestamp November last year. So like, you're not wrong. Moon plus Pretty Mary could be a thing. Oh, man, I don't like Pretty Mary. I think 3 to C3 cards is pretty good, but like maybe we just play the twinning. Hold on, we could do like Moo and then Pretty Mary and cut the twinning and then play like a DZ or something. Biobands, yeah, Biobands is not bad. Like a one influence event would make a lot of sense. We have so many more slots though, so hold on, let's just like pare this down to low influence cards and into influence cards to see what we want to play here. Like we always can play Daily Cast. It doesn't have synergy with our deck, but like it's more money, which is good. We could try an Info Bounty just to get some cheap runs, but we're no longer a Masterwork deck, so we don't need the cheap runs. Red Team is a fun card, but that's most we can say about it. I think we could play 2 Penumbrals. Once a PDJ when Borrow Goods is right there because it's so much more expensive. You think it'd be worth dropping a touchdown for a Paladin? I could hear it. I don't know if we're going to have the right amount of touchstones. 1x Wake. I think, because we cut the Safecracker. I think we have the Safecracker. We don't need the Wake. Play another mutual favor on 1 of each breaker, not enough to draw to have 1. Yeah, but we have 2 boomerangs, but I honestly think it might be better just to run 2 of each breakers and have like some security. Like if we find an SDS, the game's over. So I think we could do this, and maybe this is reasonable. I've been playing Stealth Dow for a bit, building 6-ring Rising Tides by using Penrose Fracture Text. I've been mediocre, but lots of fun. Yo, Don, I have done that in Shaper too, where you play all the Rising Tides and you play all of the extra text on the after, what's it called? The Penrose. It's fun. I was doing that in Hiram when the set came out. I think it's really great fun. All right, what does this draw like? This is our opening hand. It's not great. It's not amazing. I mean, okay, if we drew twice, we do open market to class act. We draw 4 more. Yeah, man, I don't care for this Baker, I'll be honest. Like, this is such a brick in your hand. Oh, man, the Baker's the worst draw. It's after image and bigger, the 2 payoffs for stealth. It's so far only after image. And, like, that's fine. I honestly think that's good enough. I think after image is that good. I honestly think Baker is not probably worth a slot. It's better with Hermes. It fixed me 2 hooks of each breaker, but I'm pretty prudent. Yeah, I could see, like, it just gives you so much flexibility too. And like a big thing is if you're playing against damage, like you're playing against Ayuko, having 2x breakers is just good. Carpe Diem could be better than Info Bounty. But like, I'm kind of a player who now likes Daily Cast a bit more than Carpe Diem because there's a lot of decks you can't run on turn 1. Yeah, I honestly think we cut this and play the Moose Safecracker. I think that's a good shout because like it works with their text and it's fine. Technically, Moose Safecracker I think works with Baker, but I don't care for it too much. Reprise is a really slots intensive card. Like, I don't know. It's hard to play Reprise. Does Wake make the Baker feel any better? The Wake and Bake? I mean, I guess it does. The thing is against Az, they always want it. Like, I guess we're not Masterwork, but like against Az and against, like, I think this Info Bounty is a bit suspicious because if they ice up Archives because of the Info Bounty, the Baker that's already not in our deck doesn't work. Right, like they have an incentive to ice up Archives anyways because we have Info Bounty. And technically, if you're playing Baker, you don't want them to have an incentive to ice up Archives. It's also like a downside of playing Leech. So I could see us cutting the Info Bounty. No Prognostic, no, we don't have enough hits, right? Like we have functionally like 12 hits. I would only play Prognostic if we were playing more hardware, like Docklands and all that sort of stuff. Where's Meteor? Meteor is just playing a how different actually is this from Red Crib Meteor style? Search. Adds Info Bounty Strongest Soldier? I'm not sure about that. We could try it, but I'd be surprised. McCaffrey. So this is just basically a Sable deck, right? So we have Baker, Chesva, Leech. The Baker did matter in some matchups, supposedly. 23 Classic, Paladin, Open Market, NFL, Nuka, Cast. Oh yeah, we're not on Nuka. Our card draw is terrible. I forgot about our card draw. We don't have enough card draw in the deck. Single Touchdown, Wake, Boomerang, Hermes. We're not far off. Like, we're pretty close to this. 3 Pinhole I like a lot. We're actually very close to this. We're in a single mutual. We're on 1 fewer Pinhole. We have the Mantle instead, and we're running 2 of each breaker. But yeah, I could see us like just wanting to play a touch. Yeah, our card draw is bad. Like our card draw is just bad. I don't know how to fix that. The one like neutral card draw card in the game does not have the connection text on it. It's genetics. But yeah, it's like hard to play Criminal without Nuka. Period. right? Like none of these hands draw cards. Like if this is our hand, what do we do? No room for practice to get injection of stealth in case you need to contest deep remotes? I don't think so. I would be surprised. No sellout? What are you selling out? Changeling, how's it going? How's the commentary? I don't like this card. Like this card just has so few triggers in criminal card pool. Like what are we selling? The daily cast one has 2 credits left on it. So when we draw this card, it's a dead card in our hand. And then when we sell it out, we lose 2 credits. So it's just like draw 2 cards, gain 1 credit for a card, which is pretty bad. Yeah, that's why like maybe we have to do Masterwork because Masterwork is genuine card draw. But for Masterwork to be card draw, we have to like change the whole deck because it's some I wouldn't say useless hardware, but it makes you play hardware. That's for sure. Maybe time to cut the Buzzsaw Taylor combo for some card draw. Yeah, there's a world where we cut this and 2 Buzzsaws and we can play 2 Nukas. I could see that being right. We could cut 5 influence, 2 Nukas. Like Nuka's good in as anyways because it's a connection. But oh my god, that sucks. DreamNet or Zenit? DreamNet's not really that great. If you're not digital, Zenit is also like not that great. You get just shut out. You get shut out. 3x Boomerang Masterwork is good enough? I don't think so. I mean, I want to play Masterwork though. It's like the most fun. Okay, so how many hardware do we have? So we have 3 Boomerang now, which means we can slam a Boomerang transfer. Nah, this is still not enough card draw. The problem, like the answer is cut stealth. I think the answer is cut stealth. Sell's great if you run 3x open market. I'm not convinced. Like anytime that you sell a card that has value left on it, you're losing value, right? Like this is not like programs. Like an empty coalescence is an empty coalescence. But even if we sell an what's it called, an open market with 1 credit left on it, we're basically spending a card for 2 card draw and 2 credits for a card. That's not bad, but that's like, nah, that ain't it. Sell it doesn't have enough targets though. Casas market TCA Penumbral. I'll try it for y'all, but I don't believe in it. I definitely don't believe in it. Compared to like Nuka. Yeah, there's a world in which we cut the Tungsten Taylor and a Buzzsaw for 2 things. Like we could do this. And then we could play 2 Nukas, and that probably is better. And then we'd have to play like 1 decoder that we don't want to play, like a Shibo. Oh yeah, we could play Unity, Mutual, and Draw. Yeah, well, Unity, we don't have the influence for it. It's only 1. No, it's 2. Yeah. Like, this seems better. I really want the Tungsten, though, but we'll find out. Buzzsaw's way worse without Tungsten. Yeah, I agree. Like, it probably isn't even worth playing if we only play 1. The thing is, like, yeah, maybe we just do Unity and then stealth deck. We have 1.5 stealth fails. Click for card and 2 credits is a great click. Not when it's a card that's dependent on board state. Like it's a card that you can top deck that's useless. Your combo cards need to be way better than an okay card. Like that would not be a bad card, but it's like a card that you could draw that does nothing. Like opening hand literally does nothing. Those have to have a higher upside, if you ask me. I don't like this. I don't like this. Actually, in Blueberry Lilo, yeah, Blueberry Classic Lilo, sellout. Probably want Penrose over Unity if you're going that route. I don't think so. I'm not convinced. I don't know if Penrose is that good comparatively. Like it requires us to have stealth credits, but we honestly don't have unlimited stealth credits. Like we only have 1 Taka in the deck. And then otherwise, like we actually have very few stealth credits. I'm not sure we can support more than 1 stealth breaker. Because unless we have our mans, yeah, like we don't have enough stealth credits. Do you need Trickster with Chesman open market? We do, but it's because it has stealth, right? Like this is the important part. This is the infinite stealth source, so you need it. How's it going by the way, Micro? Without stealth credits, you can't consistently play this, right? Yeah, stealth for sure, for sure. I don't like this. I don't like this. I do not like this. I feel like we're further away from the cool thing, which was Tungsten Taylor. Cut 1 Nuka for Stone Ship? I don't care for Stone Ship is cuter and criminal because you can fire class act. Like there's some truth to that. But like we have nothing to charge besides the twinning. And I don't care. Like if we lose to the combo deck, we lose to the combo deck. I don't think it's worth building into. Put back a tungsten and reach Zen with the click to draw. Yeah, let's just Zen it. Let's just see what we can learn from this. I'm okay with like Zen. Zen seems cool. 2 buzzsaw is probably a lot though. I could see us doing 1 and 1 and just grabbing the one that we need. So we could save some influence here. And then we could play like 1 Shippo. We cut the Nuka because we have to. We have 1 influence left over. I think you just need to accept having bad Koge Breaker for your first outing. We'll try something like this. What's the best metric to determine if you have enough stealth credits? Playing, like literally testing. So the thing is, like, if we get After Image on the table, how many cards do we have to draw before After Image works? And the answer for us is surprisingly high. We need to find a single Mantle doesn't do it. A single Penumbral does do it. A single Taka does it in a couple turns. Leech or Stone Ship? I'm not sure I want Leech because we already have an MU issue. I could see us playing a Baya Bands because we have like literally no Acid Tech, but I could also see us playing a Fencer Fueno because we have no Acid Tech. That's probably better overall. Pretty Mary? Really was lying to himself when he thought Andre could build a deck quickly. I know, we were all lying to ourselves. We could play like 1 game. You have 2 MU issues? Alex, how's it going? Yeah, we have a couple MU issues. This might be okay. So our whole Breaker Suite is 3, then we play a Mantle and a Chesla. That's probably good enough. I think that's good enough. Okay, so test draw. This is our opening hand. Nope. This is our opening hand. Yeah, this is fine. Hermes for 1, clean gateway, open R&D, blow up HQ, transfer, win the game. Super easy. Click to draw a heck of a lot. Yeah, this is way too much click to draw. There's literally nothing that'll give us card draw, huh? Like, do we actually play Underdome or Verbal? When my touchstone decks end up in the state, adding Jailbreaks always makes them play more smoothly. Yeah, I could see that. I think we might, touchstone might be a bridge too far because we only have 15 events. I would actually cut this. Drop 2 Jez over 2 Leech, drop Taylor for a Nuka. Yeah, I could see that. TTT to the Mystic, use the Spare Influence for Buzzsaw to Unity. I want to play Tungsten Buzzsaw so bad though. I could see us cutting a Stealth Source. Okay, what card draw can we play? Like, let's just play more events. So let's play like 2 Lilo, and then that will be triggering the touchstone. And so in the Lilo slot, we'll cut out cards that are not working. So we'll cut 1 Chesva, and we'll play 46. So this is our opening hand. Pretty good. Sure Gamble, cheap Hermes, card draw daily casts, that order. Get a touchdown early. I mean, we need an event, but that's the idea is you can do touchdown Lilo, draw 4, get a credit. Like that's a bit better. We can install Class Act. Yeah, I could cut a daily cast. I don't think this deck has enough money, so I'm a bit scared. Are we playing touchdown? Yeah, I think we technically are, but we have to be careful because this is a stealth card. Let's try this. Maybe the Penumbral, 2 Penumbrals is a bit much, but it is good. We're doing everything to avoid sellout, which draws like 11 targets. Okay, hold on. Okay, fine. Well, for you. I'll play sellout. I'll play 2. I did cut a daily cast though, which like, I think that's acceptable. I do not care for sellout. We have literally 1 target. It's open market. You can sell your Class Act, sure. But like, do we? We'll try it. Do we cut a daily cast then? Or do we need as many like, I mean, I'm not selling out a daily cast. That sounds terrible. So if you're a resource or jobber connection, yeah, but we have hardware. I just don't know what else we're going to do in the jobber connection slot. Like, I don't think we're playing red team. We could cut a daily cast for a red team and hope for the best, but number 1, I guess. I know you could, but like, yeah, we'll try it. We'll try it. Is there a better ID for this? Because we don't have that many triggers. We could play Moosey Hot with not enough run events. We could play Vic with no text. Zaya, we could cut 5 cards. Bads would actually maybe make the deck better. With Bads, we'd be able to not play Sellout. We'd be able to play the other one thing too. Side Hustles technically draw. I don't like that card. Yeah, like Bads would maybe not be the worst because we actually could play the Underdomes. We have a lot of resources. We would play more Chesva though, because Chesva's really good in Baz. Let's just try this. Stealth as. We'll learn something. Are we on 46 cards? No, we're on 45. We cut a daily cast. Maybe that's fine. JNet? Don't have one of those tabs open. In a world of 6 criminal ideas, how do we have both as and a Baz? I don't know. It's weird. How do they both like install hardware? How do they both have the same hand, be a robot hand? There's a lot of questions to ask. Follow the trail. It'll lead you to great power. They don't want you to be asking these questions. Thought for a second that would work. Yeah, Baz might be better, but then we'd have to play more Cheswood for sure. Cheswood's really good in Baz. Let's go. Hey, it's Arzon. Melius U, 49 cards. Okay. Boomerang is infinite as value. Well, I mean, technically. Arzon mulliganed. We have a hand that does require us to run. We have Boomerang into transfer. So we could force a transfer if Arzon plays an econ card. But we have no... I mean, this is good enough. This is where like I like the daily cast so much better because like running against Melius U for incidental runs on the first turns are so bad. This is luckily... I mean, this hand's good. Maybe we should mulligan. Yo, Eric, how's it going? Congrats on the video, eh? All right, so now we can do Boomerang transfer. We get punished by Snake. Every time I Boomerang transfer a 10 credit HQ wise, it's Snake. So I guess we don't do anything. That's perfect. So we can draw Shergamble Hermes. Okay, we used our as. We got 1 credit. Let me get my thing out on my back. I mean, you can barely read it. Melius did nothing. Cool. Find a class act. Oh, good. We drew to our sellout. Let us use it. Yeah, that was going to happen no matter what. No shoddy called HQ? No, probably not. But if it's a Cloud Eater, we're in a bad spot. We have to tank the damage. So I think we can just show the decoder. We just can't fire as this turn, which stinks. Like, I don't want to pre-boomerang past turn. We could penumbral for 0, but ideally we do like boomerang, transfer, install the penumbral. So I think we just do Cheswood Shibboleth pass. We miss an as trigger. I can't install cards. I need my shoe if that's a snake right now. I mean, it always is for me. Ooh, big lag. Stream good? Stream seems good. Just big JNet lag. They're also in a bad spot as a Cloud Eater. I mean, maybe. We don't have a D-res. We don't have a reprise. But this is a weird start. Like, Arzon clearly is struggling. So we probably do still send it. Stream's good? Okay, good. I just got a big lag spike. Your side too? Yeah, JNet might be struggling. Oh yeah, high pressure. Took me a couple seconds to install a card. When your opponent's clicking, you start pressuring him. So JNet's lagging right now, huh? JNet has just been laggy today. Okay, that's all right. We're not on a strict schedule. It's fine. Wow, 17 credits. I mean, the bad thing will happen. Transfer is probably better than Bravado, but you want to see a Cloud Eater? I told you, it's always a Cloud Eater. And like now we can't just play Tag Me. If we lose these 3 cards in hand, we're not allowed to access. This happens every time we play Criminal. Like you do Boomerang into transfer, they're on 10 credits, you get a bad transfer. At least this is an okay transfer. But like it's every single time this ice is up here and we can't deal with it that well. All we have to do is Boomerang this and like float. Trash when installed runner card. We don't want that to happen. Give the runner 2 tags. 3 needed damage. So I think we're just taking 6 tags. Man, I hate snakes so much. So we're just floating tags. So no, we have so many resources. We can't float tags. 3 net damage means we can't access because we'll die to like 2 different things. Trash installed runner card. Like they'll probably trash maybe Breaker. But I think we're just playing Tag Me and just hoping that we don't lose to Unleash, which like, yeah, now our deck has like 12 resources and it is in a bad spot. So we're going to take more tags. I feel like if someone's saying, no, literally every time they put ice on HQ, click to 10, you know, it's a snake. And now the game is awful. You sell the resources. Yeah. Top down. The heck is that about? Mind you, R&D was the call. Shuffle that back in. Server 1 looks like a spin doctor. We can install the penumbral for free. Like, I just want to throw the game into the trash and start a new game now. Like, we're 5 tags in on turn 3. Like, we have a lot of resources. We can't do this. I mean, we could poke the Spin Doctor. Like in theory, okay, so this is the math, right? So we can install Penumbral for 0, and then we can play Sellout to gain 3 and draw. So we spend 2 clicks to gain 3 and draw 2 cards. So it's all that we did is got 3 credits for free. It's not that good. Penumbral to Sellout is not that good. Again, all we're doing is getting 3 credits clicklessly. We could have just done draw. Like I honestly, I'm not into it. I mean, maybe Hermes is, I don't know. Recycle away your situation bad resource for a good card. Let's see if a spin gets res. There's a Hermes here. Underbed snakes tilt hedge fund. Hate to see that. We'll draw. Okay, we have a touchstone. At least that's econ he can't interact with. Make them trash Penumbral. Yeah, it would be okay to install Penumbral there for nothing and say like you could spend a click and 2. All right, they're in 10 credits. There's still a snake there. At least we have 2 boomerangs, I guess. Wait a second, the snake. We're really good at. We just shouldn't have face checked. We should have known it's a Cloud Eater, and eventually we do a Cloud Eater really well. So that's on us. Draw. We can't install the daily cast because he will definitely trash it. I think we'll just get our as value and our after image. So now we need 2 stealth sources. So we can always install Penumbral and run HQ, and then we can sell it out in the same turn. But yeah, we can get through the Cloud Eater for 2 stealth credits, which is obviously a deal. I think this is assets. Like I think this is a combo. Considering we saw Flood. What's it called? The Thing. What's this? Longevity? So Bloods are in R&D. It's a Yagi Uda? Oh, okay. Okay. It's not too bad. That seemed expensive. I think you'll let them trash 2. What's the worst? You lose a Hermes? Yeah, but what's the difference? If we're going to take 2 tags, 3 tags, why not take 5 tags, right? Like, I don't think we're going to clear the tags. That's good. We could do Sure Gamble, run Archives, run R&D. It's like mid. But I think we just need to find our stealth sources. Like, we could install the Penumbral for 0, but we should use it the same turn we install it. So at least we fire Touchstone. We just didn't fire our text. So I think we don't sell out the Penumbral. I think this is the worst card. You'd have taken 1 tag though. No, but then we let them trash twice, you're saying? I don't know about that. I think we just draw and throw out the casts. Nice, that's good. Yeah. I think the sell it's the worst card in our hand. Any deck with Snake runs 3x Mindscaping? Not necessarily. Some are only running 2, and it's a fast events deck. Okay. We're just getting points. De punte. Okay, so we want 1 more stealth source. The issue is our stealth source is Taka. Wait, is our only other stealth source Taka? It's all resources and this 1 mantle. The hand might not have anything in it. But I could see us doing like Penumbral Bravado HQ. You can sell the worst while you're discarding something else? Sorry? So we're going to use a Penumbral. You have to trash this legally. We're not going to sell it out. Same card, bummer. We got our touchstone, which is good. It was R&D, so I think we just run R&D and draw. Run on HQ, the turn would have been great here. Yeah, it would have been okay. Especially because we saw the Sure Gamble, the hedge fund on the top. So it was like a fork between doing that and doing that. See if Arzon just petty caches trash Penumbral. I think you have to with Cloud Eater on HQ. Yeah. So like sellout was mid. I just hate that we're playing a blank deck now, 5 tags in. No shot, you call Archives here. It was HQ, cool, all right. Yeah, touchstone is stealth, and now we have 2 stealth. We just need to play an event to turn. Tattoo Bowl, okay, good to see. Can't break it. So I don't know what this is. This was on the table a while ago. Spin Doctor makes sense. It wasn't rezzed into the Hermes potential bounce on R&D, but the hand was flooded. So we have a Tattoo Bowler for sure, and he knows we can get to HQ. Maybe lose the tags at some point. I don't know. I don't think it matters. Like, but imagine that, like spending 5 clicks and 10 credits to install a twinning. Like, I just don't think we can do it. I mean, that looks like a gank, doesn't it? You need to get the mantle down before you lose it. Oh, you're right. Actually, we should get that down. We probably should have got that down a while ago. So that's good. We do think that this is most likely a ganked, which at least with Touchstone Mantle is good. If we pinhole archives like Melius fires and you get back a hedge fund, which like love that identity. Giving back a hedge fund is just my favorite thing to do. Admittedly, the hedge fund's only click for 3 instead of a clickless 1. So like it's a bit different. We definitely should have drawn before we installed that, but I don't think it matters. I think we installed the twinning. The problem is like, yeah, I think we just install the twinning and see if Arzon trashes it. We didn't play an event this turn, so we're losing out a touchstone, but we can't run archives. Blind pinhole through R&D, we're pretty sure it's a Tattoo Bola. But I could see us just doing the pinhole anyways. Like even pinhole HQ would be kind of funny. The thing is like, I think the pinholes will still be good. I think I'm just gonna install this and see what happens. We can always boost it on the following turn, but like, I think you have to trash this legally. Pinhole the ganked. The only way we can do is archives and then Melius will fire. And even if you pinhole the gank, they res the ganked, so you might as well just run it normally. It's a bit cheaper. We lost connection. It'll force the spin pop? I mean, sure, but it's pretty low value. Like, I don't actually think it forces the spin pop. Arzon just says you can pinhole the spin doctor. I don't care. It's 2 hedge funds. Like, it's not a big deal, I don't think. I think we disconnected, though. I'm going to hold on for a couple seconds. See what happens. Arzon does like playing Moonpool, so I have no doubt that, yeah, the idea is you play the card in hand, the HB card that draws 2 installs 2 to do Moonpool combo. Because it quickly gets your agenda and the Moonpool on the table, which means you can do advance, and you can score 4-2 from hand. So I'm pretty sure Arzon's playing 4-2s, real 4-2s. Hey, Deeds, how's it going? Hey, Test. I'm going to disconnect, leave. I'm going to leave, come back. Sometimes this works, but JNet's seems pretty rough tonight. It's been a while since it's been this bad. I also got DC'd here. Yeah, something's up for sure. It's 305. Yeah, it's okay. Hey, CBeast, how's it going? We so far have got 3 credits off of our ability, which like maybe we should just play Muesli Hot. I don't know. Card draw is our issue, so like I could see us playing Muesli Hot and just say like we only draw 40% of the time. A credit though on the first 3 turns is pretty good. It was awful yesterday. Bummer. They usually just have to do a server reset, but I don't know. Sometimes it's more complicated than that. Of course it is. We also, oh, it's still Arzon's turn. Yeah, we have to remember to boost the 20 into the mantle, but I hit the leave game button. It doesn't even let us leave, so I don't know what's going on. How's everyone's Tuesday? This Thursday, Pat will be here. I'm pretty sure we're gonna play on JNet. I'm pretty sure we're not playing on paper. I can't tell. Let me know if you ever like when Pat's in town or locally here. Would you rather see us play JNet and hang out, or would you rather see us play on paper? I'll be honest, the paper play, it feels like the chat interaction is always lower because it's harder because we're having a conversation. You can't talk about our hand and what we're doing because it spoils it for the other player. But I also hate what those streams sound like. Like the microphones are so echoey that like I don't know how to sort it out. It's just like each microphone is picking up the other one in this room is like pretty echoey, and this microphone is so good that I don't know what to do about it, but like it eats me alive every time we do a stream and it doesn't sound good. I enjoy the tag team JNet games. Yeah, I do too. It's like, that's a really cool thing about Netrunner that not enough people do. Is like playing with someone allows you to talk through the lines. And we do it all the time with like chat. But like, it's one of the most important ways to get better at the game. Some folks are saying def paper for the novelty. Yeah. Yeah, it could be either. The dynamic duo of Andre calling out the calculated play and Pat's sending it for 5s is great. Discussing lines together and Jane is definitely my favorite. Yeah, I feel like it is mine too, unfortunately. Harder to read the game state in person, even when you're both trying to bring the cards up on the screen in a timely manner. Oh, okay. Yeah, Dan, it did crash bad, right? Maybe a mix. It's hard to do mix though, because we have to like redo the audio and the lights. It's like, it's not an easy thing to just like move the chair over here. As long as there's trash talking. I don't like trash talking. It becomes a Spike TV, like JNet game, or like not my favorite. All right, I'm gonna leave the page and come back. Arzon, I'm coming. I can't even refresh. Yeah, it's cooked. Undefeated on JNet. The banter between the two of you is fun. Would be fun to watch both of you play versus each other on JNet so we can hear both of you. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's not good. Yeah. I think there's like one game on the channel where I played against Jeff and I got Jeff's side of his VOD and my side of the VOD and edited it together. And it is really fun to hear two people talking about their opponent's Spike TV reference in 2026. What is it called? The Greatest Ninja Warrior? Not The Greatest Ninja Warrior. Whatever that show is where Spike like calculated the odds of the Spartans fighting against the ninjas, but then it just became a trash talk show between pseudo experts. It's so funny. Yeah, it seems hard dead. Alex, good game. I totally thought it was like, oh, this is 100% a cloudier on HQ, and I'm gonna rage quit. And the servers rage quit for us. They rage quit. Right, you are, Ken. Mixie. Yeah, it's bad. Okay, that's not good. That's fine. We'll figure something out. We talked for the beginning of this, huh? The actual WebSocket server isn't responding. Yeah, it seems to be like straight down for everyone. I can't say anything as smart as you did, but looks bad on my side too. I think it's Deadliest Warrior. I think that's the name of the show. That game is going to be a misery engine. Do you have any tag punishment? Like, are you in greasing? Because I'm pretty sure you're just straight fast advancing. Oh, I'm kind of back. But I don't think this is worth playing a game. You did miss a bite on HQ that run. Yeah, I knew that we couldn't take damage on the HQ run. Because the chance of like taking 3 from the thing and then dying to Fuji, and we didn't know what it was. NRO time, I can't boot up NRO unless someone's on the other side. But we also only have like 20 more minutes of a stream. So booting up NRO and trying to get through it in 20 minutes sounds like not the service we want to do to NRO. Just fast advance, cool. But you're not on greasing, maybe? Like greasing's maybe the one tag punishment card I'd maybe expect, but it's a lot of influence. All right, Maker's Eye. Do y'all just want to play Arkham? We could just play Arkham for a bit. Let's just look at this weekend. It's back and the game didn't die. Okay, hold on. Is it good though? Like, is it running well? Just enough time for an OTK game. I can't even get in though yet, so I'm not sure. And I feel like everyone refreshing it the way I am might not be good. You could do a quick S2S STS2 run. I haven't played STS in a while. Wayne, how's it going by the way? Hello. Yeah, maybe. I don't. Hold on. I've been playing Deadlock, and like Deadlock is not 20 minutes. It's super laggy. Yeah, I think we might just want to call it this on a wash. I can get you on a rematch maybe on Tuesday if you want. But sorry that went like that. Only one action went through in a DC. Yeah, I can't even get back. So whatever. It is what it is. Good game though. I was looking forward to see the rest of that as much as the snake always gets me. Okay, so this weekend, I think we just do about that, maybe? Apply. Filter. Go. So this is the last weekend plus, I think. Does Deadlock have the Alley Brawl game? Yeah, Deadlock has Brawl. I never play it, but it's like kind of like Aram in League of Legends where they just put you all in one lane. They give you like items and just say go. Team fighting in that game is good, but when you're team fighting with 6 people as soon as the first minute where everyone has items, it's like, it gets really messy really quick. Like, I'll be honest, my favorite part of Deadlock is not the 6v6 team fights. It's like the 2v2 team fights, which is like laning is more fun. Hey, Sons, Deadly Warrior was like cinema for me and my other 12-year-old friends. Me too. I was a bit older than that, but I did still watch all of it. I think I pirated it. I'm mostly here for the meta-analysis. Okay, good. Okay, so this is the last weekend, I think, maybe a bit longer than that. Corp win rate, 58, runner win rate, the other opposite side of that. That's no different. It has not moved from that. 2 weeks ago, it's shifted down to 55, but the corp win rate keeps going up. This is what the corp win rate looked like before the ban list. Keep that in mind. But yeah, things are okay. I do think people want a favored corp win rate. 58% is maybe a bit much, but that's okay. Melius, Ayuko, PD, Nuvem, I would be surprised, but again, this is very small numbers. This is one weekend. There's 9 Nuvenk players, but this is what it is. It's like the average player is playing Jinteki. If you go to a tournament, it's not unlikely you play a whole day, mostly playing against Jinteki. When you come to a top cut, maybe that focuses a bit more though. Top cut in Swiss is quite a swing though. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting to see. Yeah, I guess, how do we filter for that? I guess we'll filter for that later, but how do you just say only top cuts? So this is all the way back to Toronto. So this is 2 weekends. Okay. So it's a bit larger of a pool than we thought. Yeah. How do we do that? Win rates on the last couple weekends. So Op is not a lot of play, but actually there's a lot of corps doing quite well. So Ayuko and Melius are the most played and they're still hitting average and above average win rates. These are the Epiphany players that I think are doing quite good. Elio, not a lot of games though, but doing great too. We have a huge Zwicky range of only 10 games. But PD actually is one of the highest win rates I think we have seen. And it is getting a lot of games. Like 90 games over 2 weekends is a lot. And that is a big number, 70% win rate. This is Op at like 81% win rate, but it's only 23 games. So again, usually the people who are playing Op are playing, now at this point, they're not playing like fair Op, like mid-range Op. They're playing like combo or something else. It's in the filter section. Can we just do this? Yeah. Okay, so if we look at the cut, so Alex is saying that this probably switched a fair bit. It does. It evens out a fair bit. So if you look at the top cut over the last couple of weekends, it's actually like super, super even, 50% to 50%. Now you could say a bit of that is like maybe, player skill, like over a wider, group of people, corps are winning more. Maybe I could see that. I do think a lot of the corps right now are, it's like AUCO. Like AUCO really wins games if your opponent does not play correct. I think you have to ask questions from your opponent, but yeah, if your opponent does not answer those questions correctly, you can win. Whether you want to say that that's your skill or the runner's lack of skill, which I mean, in nice terms, I do think there's a fair few corp decks that feel like they capitalize on that. Epiphany to some extent does too. You're kind of saying these are problems you have to deal with, and if they deal with them wrong, that's one thing. Now, maybe the bigger part here, though, is this is open deck lists. So once you know what the corporation is doing, that works more with hidden information. Corporations usually suffer way more from open deck lists than runners do. With runners, there's not too much you're playing around. Like maybe there's some niche weird combo decks, but like a lot of the Lou decks, a lot of the Moosely Hot decks, it's not really a big surprise what's in the list. It's not too much you can change, but corp decks do lose a lot more from open deck lists. That's a really big swing. Like losing a 10% win rate off of open deck lists and the higher tables, like that is worth something. I kind of wish I could filter this by lower, mid, high tables, because maybe there's a chance that the corp win rate is way higher at lower tables and evens out the higher you go. And this is like the top result of it, which is just the top cut. So if we do this, I'm assuming, yeah, the number will be higher than 58. It should be, right? Oh, I guess maybe the numbers are too small to move. Yeah, 59, whatever. It's not a big thing. I found this game looks very interesting. Hey, sir, welcome to the channel. That's unfortunately today we can't play any gameplay because our online client is not working, but welcome to Netrunner. It's like an incredible game. Cut game sample size is also quite small, hard to draw strong conclusions. Sure, it's definitely not big enough, but you know what we can do is we actually can make this window a lot bigger. So let's go to all of the 2605, which I think is this whole window, and then we'll just put it onto the cut games and see if the number is closer to 50. Yeah. So like this is a bigger pool. It's 151 games, which is bigger than just like 2 weekends for sure. But actually runner is a favored win rate. So the biggest that you could possibly do is obviously detract Swiss, because if we just do Swiss, it's going to be like 60%. So you lose 10% win rate. Yeah, 57 to the runner side. So yeah, again, I can't tell you if that's open deck lists or like player skill, but it does feel like there's a lot of decks where like runner skill is one of the most important things, more so than corp skill. Game is so cool and people are somehow even cool. It's cool. 100% yapping on stream peak. Hey, Edward, yeah. I mean, we don't try to do that, but sometimes it happens. I'm embarrassed. I think there's something like that. And more practice players, things are more even, but corps eat Swiss. Yeah, corps seem to be eating Swiss. Again, also in the top cut, those are usually the players who are more practiced, who know the meta, that know how they should be playing against matchups. Where in Swiss, you can just win by it's like, sending it. It doesn't really matter. It's out of print. How does the meta change in the case? Oh, no, it's not out of print. Oh, it's always nice to do this little talk. So if you don't know, Sir Spud, Netrunner was a card game in the 90s. It was also a card game in 2012 when FFG had the license. Since FFG stopped printing the game, a non-profit community collective of people from the community called Null Signal Games has been making the game and supporting the game, both in producing cards, balancing, and running organized tournaments ever since 2019, 2020. So they've actually been running the game longer than FFG ever did and much longer than Wizards of the Coast ever did. We're playing in a standard format right now, which is only NSG cards at this point. The card pool is, I don't know what the number is offhand, but hundreds and hundreds of cards. And if you want to try the game, which mind you, System Gateway is the core set product. It is the best core set Netrunner has ever had. And notably, all this stuff is a non-profit. So any cards that you want to print out, you can proxy, you can play for entirely free, as much as there's a shop if you want to buy professionally printed cards. But they have all the PDFs. So if you just want to print stuff up, proxy them on Magic lands and bring them to a tournament, you can play at the World Championship with proxies, and people do, which is awesome. Game's really good, but it's the same rule set that if you knew about it in 2012, you can just pick up the game and play. But it is, it's good. It's 584 currently unique cards in the format. Yeah. It's really, really good, but it's been around, like people have not stopped playing it since 2012. Yeah, a bit less than 600 cards. But that's why we're talking about this, because this meta had a ban list in, May of 2026. So it's a fresh meta, right? Yeah, Worlds is in Montreal this year, which is, I live in Montreal, so that's kind of convenient, I guess. But yeah, last Worlds there was about 420 players, so the game is doing pretty well. Everyone with the anti-corporate message, I'm sold. I mean, everything's free. They're totally non-profit, which is like pretty buck wild when it comes to a card game, let alone a card game that doesn't care about like manufactured scarcity. All right, on the runner side, do we think Seb's a top? Seb is usually a top. This is always interesting. So this is the Lou matchup. So Lou might be the higher win rate. This is by representation though. So Lou seems to be the most popular runner these last 2 weekends. But you get to see like which matchups are the best or the worst. Lou seems to be still struggling to PD, I think. I think Criminal is the best matchup we see on paper versus PD, just for some centrals pressure and some econ denial and some disruption and some pinholes is my guess. But Lou's still doing pretty well. Actually has a winning matchup into a lot of these, I think. Always love giving the Netrunner spiel to new folks. Solomir, how's the weekend on the judging, huh? Yeah, it's always fun to be like, wait a second, no, this is a real game. It's been around for a while. Cool. Yeah, this is a shift. Do you think this is what we expect? And actually, whoa, for the first weekend, Lou actually has the higher win rate on 51, which is actually still above the average win rate, which should be a 47. But usually we see Seb slightly higher than that. I think if we pull out, and mind you, there's way fewer Seb games, but we've seen Seb win rates around 60, 70 as much as there haven't been a lot of games. But like, honestly, besides this Lou outlier and Seb, like everybody is below 50% win rate, which is kind of expected. But a lot of these decks are seeing a lot of play, like Moosey Hot, yeah, 45, like slightly above the expected, but not that much more expected, which is interesting. If we want to just go to the top cut, maybe that shifts a fair bit. We're gonna have less data for sure. So let's do the whole 2605, and we just want to look at the runner side to see what happens. Yep. BTU is the top of the meta. Let's go. But OB actually is, these numbers are not worth anything. But yeah, PD is doing it. And then you see Ayuko and Melius. So like, they're still really good choices, even though they're played by most people. It's not really common in this game for the most performant deck, or sorry, the most popular deck to have higher than average win rate. Like usually you run into the sort of like Sable issue, the Moosey Hot issue, where when a deck becomes the most prominent deck, more players are playing it. And if more players are playing it, that means the average play quality of it is closer to the average and the win rate goes down. It is really surprising to see two of the most popular IDs, Ayuko and Melius, and Melius is the most popular ID it has been for the last couple months, still have above average win rate. That is weird because most people are playing Melius, which means people at all different skill levels are playing Melius. Maybe this tells you something about like the sort of like upper tables versus lower tables corp win rate, but it's not very common for one of the most, like the most popular to have above average win rate. It's really weird. Judging the event was great. Love having to track PD clicks through the combo. Did anyone biff it? Just play against him can be counterintuitive if you're less experienced. Against Seb? For sure. You both select to not only cut. Yeah, this is for both. I just want to look at the full meta. I know this is both right now. Ban due to balancing. Yeah, there's a standard ban list for sure. Somehow this chart doesn't look all that different from the way it was before the ban list. I don't think it is. I think on the runner side, it's not going to be at all. Like, I think Seb is still going to be the top of the ban lane. Yeah, like not a lot of games, I'll be honest. Like 70 games across the whole like month and a half is not a lot. But this is very similar to what it was before. And I think the last chart hasn't moved a bit. Now, that's not saying that it wasn't a right or wrong ban list. Maybe things would have looked a lot different, a lot worse, a lot better. Who knows? Daily sick. But yeah, currently, like on this chart, if you look at the whole 2605 meta, there's only one runner that has above average win rate, and everyone else is like scraping at the average. Like Lou is literally just about the average win rate, give her 2%, which is wild. Oh, you biffed it on first game on stream? How did that help you? Did that make you feel good through the event? Did that give you the fire underneath your chair that you wanted, or was it, how bad was it? Excuse me, I spat. How bad was it? Cool. If we look at top cut though, I guess. Yeah, it evens out. Runners slightly favored. But I imagine, yeah, top cut's actually way more PDs, but the Melius and Ayuko is like still for being the majority pick are converting really well. Like the conversion generally also on like, if you looked at a Sable or Hoshiko conversion rate, when Hoshiko and Sable were the most popular, generally wasn't that great. But the Melius conversion rate is like pretty good considering still everyone's bringing Melius and Ayuko to tournaments, right? Like that is notable. Like the hegemonic deck is actually one of the better decks you can be playing. You scored 6 and then flooded the next turn. Okay. I've never done that on stream before. And then we have so few data points at corp win rates, but yeah, PD still has way above average. Epiphany, which is a cool data point here. Epiphany has been converting. People have been playing Epiphany. And then Melius and Ayuko are literally average. Ayuko goes down a bit. And I do think Ayuko way more than Melius loses a lot more to open deck lists. Because you understand now the Ayuko is on like measured or oppo or like, I don't know, fast advance combo or like, you know, any of those things, those are way harder to play around in closed deck lists, where Melius, you learn pretty quickly if they're on ganked or not, if they're on Sisyphus or not. So that is not super surprising. I could see Ayuko going down with open deck lists way more than Melius. Melius is still just good. But Ayuko asks you to solve problems with complicated board states, and open information gives the complicated board states a fair bit more range, or less range. Shit. Damn. Lou. I mean, okay. Nobody has a good win rate against Lou in top cuts. Not surprising. Hey Yeti, welcome back. Yeah, okay. Lou, converting. Lat's converting more. Moosey Hut's not converting. And then you see, yeah, Lou is the thing to do. Mind you, the average runner win rate is like 40 something, 42, 43. And the average cut Lou win rate is 62. That's wild. A bit hard to get that meaningful info from the PD stats. Yeah, the PD stats represent like a couple archetypes. All we know is that whatever PD is doing really, really well. But you're right. It's a very wide pool of information. Are we talking about how Melius is the coolest ID ever? I mean, I've actually said something like that. I think Melius is like a really interesting ID. I don't like it, but it's cool. Just because there's way more variation in what people, yeah, exactly. PD has way more variation. Like at the end of the day, there's a fair few different Melius decks, but the fundamentals are all the same of how you play against them, usually. Cool. I mean, interesting. Very, what the heck is this? Oh, there's like three Moosey Hot games. The Moosey Hot won every AUCO game. I mean, that's good. Cool. Yeah, that's the data, I guess. It's not too far off, right? Like, so say that we open this up and the 26-3 meta was really short, let's be honest, let alone it was like districts. So it's a different caliber of play. But if we're looking at just win rate, which is 57-43, okay, you're looking at what people are playing. So op is highest win rate. If we go by games played, this is what we're expecting: Melius, AUCO, PD, Epiphany, and then like a string of Waylands that are not always converting. But if we go to 26-03 instead, I don't believe that things are super different. Yep, 43, 57. This is by games played. It's not that different at all. Yeah, the 26-3 versus 05 ban list didn't seem to change too much. Now, that being said, if it didn't happen, who knows what would happen? So it's not like it was useless. But yeah, it's like AUCO came down. I don't know. I don't even know if it did. This is the point where like AUCO had way fewer games than Melius, because Melius had like, yeah, for every AUCO game, there's 3 Melius games because this was the new hotness. But AUCO was the old boring deck, but was the better deck in the 26-03, especially because it punished like greedy runner decks. And that's usually good in early meta. But AUCO for 26-03, for my money, was the best deck you could play. Arguably op, but AUCO was doing it as well. And Melius was like, somehow it got better. Like, it's not obvious why. So I think Melius got better probably because we got rid of Seb and Ice Destruction. So this did continue to climb up, which is good. Main difference is the downfall of op. Yeah, the downfall of op like causes that sort of diaspora, I guess. Is that a word we can use here? Where like these people move to something else, but like losing Seb, I think, made this matchup better. But this was always the thing to do. And losing Seb, I think, was also good for AUCO, right? Yeah. Yeah, Melius did go up enough. And I do think like just having your ice blown up at immediate speed probably wasn't good for you. I think Melius is going to land shockingly high in that list. This one? Because sort of, but not necessarily. But sort of. Like, it's not bad. It was much better than average. Yeah, losing Ashen was a big deal. So you can't actually just like, they have limited resources. They can't just keep doing their thing forever. And we did see a lot of like, you know, Jinteki Glacier getting bullied by Seb. Oh, we're responding to Yeti. Maybe the faction with the most busto IDs, power-wise. Yeah, an all-time Jinteki ID tier list. How high does Melius land, power-wise? That's a weird thing, is I don't even know if it's the highest in terms of Jinteki IDs classically. Jinteki has a bunch of stinkers, but Jinteki has some really strong identities. Hold on. Oh, my keyboard has gone to sleep because we haven't played. Yeah, Jinteki ID tier list. Identity. I'll do... Sorry, faction, Jinteki. T identity, and I'll do sort tier list. Okay, so there's 21 identities in the history of the game. Some of them have been some of the strongest things we've ever seen. Of course, some of them have been nothing. Like Ag Infusion arguably is stronger than Melius. Arguably is stronger than Melius. 17 influence and the ability to end the run is very, 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 very good. I think if Ag Infusion was in the meta right now, I would be happier to play against it, I think, but it is a stronger ability overall, is my take. AUCO is one of the strongest abilities we've ever seen. It is interesting, though. IG is one of the strongest abilities we've ever seen, but not interesting. This is misery. PE is very, very strong, unfortunately. Potential Unleashed is like, you know, excise it. Should be banned. It was never banned. It banned everything around it until it was unplayable. I don't think it was actually banned itself. Jinteki RP probably wouldn't be that good right now compared to like the other two Jinteki Glacier stuff we have, like Melius, even Plana. I think actually RP is better than Plana, but like RP won Worlds for being the first like Jinteki true Glacier deck. But from that point forward, like mostly RP was playing assets because you're click compressing the runner and checking the assets, which was valuable on its own. AUCO, yeah, AUCO is an all-timer. AUCO might be one of the most powerful IDs we've seen. It does really feel like that. Ag Infusion in a world with Mitra. Oh my god, you're right. Mitra would get face down ice. I don't know if the timing window works, but it probably does. Yeah, Mitra with Ag Infusion is disgusting. Damn. Restoring Humanity is like surprisingly impactful, but it's just like dwarfed by all these other things because it does feel like we just have better Restoring Humanity. The only upside is that we have a 44 card deck, which like, cool. I don't care about that. Meliasu is, that's funny that they come next to each other. Mati Mukundo, man, actually we've had some really strong Jinteki Glacier IDs. I think Mati Mukundo is stronger than Melias. But I honestly don't know if it's better than Ag. It probably is better than Ag Infusion, isn't it? This is like a whole other language I gotta get learning. Sorry, we're talking about the history of the game in a way that like not that many people can interact with this, which is maybe not the best. Mati Mukundo is this ability that says like when the runner's about to approach the server, and I'm not gonna talk about Managarm Skunkworks because Managarm Skunkworks on its own makes the whole thing fall apart. But in a world without Managarm Skunkworks, Mati Mukundo is generally better for assets, right? If there's no replacement for Cohort and Bladderwort, I'm still not sure Ayuko is still that high. Oh yeah, 100%. It's contextual in the card pool. It for sure is contextual in the card pool. Like I don't know if you play what's it called? Neural EMP in Ayuko just to do 1 damage. What in the world is the point of Hyobu? It's not very clear, but this was like the first Ashes cycle. So back then, mind you, we had more cards that revealed cards from hand, and some of them were actually just like uniquely playable on their own. We even had a whole ice suite that just revealed on encounter. So like you would get credits from this, but yeah, it didn't do anything. Mati's the strongest for sure with IG as a close second. I don't know. I think Egg Infusion might be stronger than Mati, but like obviously Mati got banned, Egg Infusion didn't, so I might be wrong on that. It's been a while since I played against Mati, and I played as, so I didn't hate it as much as most, but like Mati like uniquely crushes out low power level decks from the format. Because what Mati Mukundo says is if you check whatever I put on the table, if you cannot deal with the worst ice I immediately put from my hand, you lose the game, especially when those face checks are like the worst you could ask for, like literally 5 net damage on turn 1, or believe it or not, it's an Anansi. So that means like if you had a bad deck, you just didn't have a good time. If you had a good deck, Mati Mukundo was an interesting matchup. But if you had a quote unquote like not a competitive deck, it was not a game. It just wasn't worth playing the game. Polana was good. I think it's way worse than any of the other Glacier options we have. It was just like one of the most fun to play, like one of the most just like simple to play, which was nice. And then we have 10 Institute, which is not worth talking about. I mean, like we had some really good IDs here. All the ones we're not talking about are like not worth talking about. Some of them are really quite bad. Some of them are just were like not particularly fun. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if I'd say Melius is B tier, but like Melius's effect is, I think, more frustrating to play around. Like I don't know what it is. It's like Melius having recursion is if it fires in the wrong time, it's like a bit of an exaggeration, but it feels game losing. But in terms of like making a Glacier strategy relevant, Melias is nowhere near as powerful as the ID abilities that had Glacier tech on them, like Mati Mukundo or Ag Infusion. But like I still would rather play against Ag Infusion than Meliasu. I'm thinking like what would make me happy about Meliasu, and my answer is like I wish they had to show you which card they chose and they installed it face up and then they said deal with it. But then it would be a Wayland ID. Right? That's no longer a Jinteki ID. But I would feel so much better about this if they had to show you the ID. Maybe they wouldn't be strong enough, like for sure, maybe not. But if it was public information so we could all make interesting choices about it, I would like it way more. But then clearly it's not Jinteki. Mati's always stronger than Ag Infusion due to the ability to synergize with upgrade windows. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about Managarm and all that sort of stuff because those cards were not designed with Mati Mukundo. In the full card pool, Mati Mukundo is like the most busted thing you can do. But it was like never intended to be like that. Bad in this conversation definitely means low tier and competitive play because some of those ideas are so fun to build around in casual formats. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I want to be very clear. We're talking about like strictly competitive play. A lot of these ideas are just like the most fun. Bad is not a good word to use, so apologies if we're being a bit blunt about that. Like I spent so much time playing Nisei Division, particularly as a newer player. I love Nisei Division. I had so many published Nisei Division decks just because it's a lot of fun. Is it the competitive thing to do? No, never has been, never will be, but that doesn't mean we don't enjoy it. Nisei Division was my favorite. Me too. You remember that 3-1 that you scored that allowed you to do like rescore the ability on a thing, and then you just kept getting tokens on your. It was good fun. What's the meta site that you use? Oh, Victor, the one we had before is called Maker's Eye. So it's makers-eye.com. This is made by Spider Bro. It's really good. You can either paste in actual URL from Cobra, which is like a tournament website. Aesop's doesn't really exist that much anymore, and it can do meta analysis. Otherwise, the website we're on is Netrunner DB, which is the deck building website, and Community Space, which is this. So yeah, Maker's Eye is really, really good. I don't know if enough people know about it. Where are my Jinteki IDs at? I lost them. I don't know where they are. They're gone. My beautiful IDs. I have too many tabs. I can't find them. Okay. That's okay, I guess. It's 3:34. So apologies, this is going to be a shorter stream for Tuesdays than we normally have. I need to pop out because I need to be somewhere at 5 o'clock. And after the stream ends, I have to do the thumbnail, I have to do the timestamps, I have to do publishing. So it takes me a bit, and then I have to commute somewhere. So thanks so much for hanging out. Sorry JNet is down. Otherwise, we definitely would be playing more Netrunner. So welcome to the Netrunner Talk Show. I trust that you are well. Firstly, before we talk about what's coming up on Thursday, which we're here, I want to give a huge shout out to all these names here and more that support the Metropole Grid, so we can do stuff like this, like stream on a Tuesday afternoon while you're at work, or in bed in Germany, or however it works. That's really quite nice. And all these folks and our daily cast patrons makes this stuff possible. If you want to support the Metropole Grid and become part of this family, so all this stuff happens, you can find a link below, and any amount of contribution is incredibly appreciated. I want to give a huge shout out. It hasn't been updated here, but we have a new patron. Shout out to Ben Hooper. Thanks so much, Ben, for joining as a Sure Gamble patron. So your name will be up here. We just have to do a re-render. Hopefully it'll be up by Thursday. I assume it will. Speaking of the stuff we've been doing, we had some gameplay up on the channel, which takes some nice time to get all that stuff edited up. So if you want to watch some gameplay this Monday and last Monday, check that stuff out. It's good stuff. I think it turned out pretty well, as much as the games are relatively short. At least Mondays is pretty short, huh? I really want to put more gameplay on this channel. I think I have to just sit down with like Pat, or like there's a bunch of locals here, like Antoine. We probably should play some games on this table just to get some more gameplay up on this channel that's edited, because I do think that stuff like lives well on its own. It doesn't always have to be JNet. Of course it doesn't. That's mostly it. Yeah, JNet is like largely, I would say, down. Hopefully that's fixed by Thursday, because Thursday Pat is going to be dropping by. It is Pat's birthday on Monday, I'm pretty sure. It's my birthday on Friday. So we're going to have a little like celebration if you want to join us for that. I don't think we're going to do that much besides like play some Stealth Anarch, I guess. But we'll be on here on Thursday hanging out, which is good. Damn, called out in bed in Scotland. I mean, like, you're doing it well. It's late over there. Why wouldn't you? That's mostly it, huh? I'm here for the Saraswati. How does the tournament format work? Do you play as both runner and corp, or do you choose what you're playing as? Okay, I can answer that actually. So classically, it was a bit different. Modernly, we play something called single-sided Swiss. So when you go to a tournament, you bring a corp deck and a runner deck. So you bring 2 decks. Every round, you have 40 minutes usually to sit down against an opponent, which the tournament software will tell you what it is. And the tournament software will tell you which side you're playing. So to say this round, you're playing your corp versus their runner. Then the next round, you'll be playing your runner versus their corp. And largely throughout a tournament, it'll make sure that you play the same amount of corp and runner. And it'll always will pair you against somebody where that makes sense. You're always going to be paired against somebody who has the same like strength of schedule. So if you've lost all your games, you're probably going to play against someone who's also lost all their games so far that day. And that means that you're more likely to win some games, and the tournament gets more fair as you start from that point. That's it, single-sided Swiss. And throughout the game, throughout the whole day, as long as it's an even amount of rounds, you always play the same amount as runner and corp. So you bring both decks. Classically, we did something called double-sided Swiss, which was you had 65 minutes to play both games. That can cause some issues where like time can sneak up on you, and you have to be able to like sometimes concede a game to have time to play the second one. And it causes a whole bunch of issues, including things like intentional drawing and 2-for-1ing and all this other stuff. But single-sided Swiss has been like the main play pattern for the last like 2 years, I think. I think Worlds has been in single-sided Swiss for the last 2 years, since 2024. Will you put the beginner vids linked in the description of this VOD? Which beginner vids? Meanwhile, Cobra, definitely not waiting to acknowledge Flood PD and disregarding side balance for the finals. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, because it's not posted on Cobra yet? Yeah, Joel responded into 2, but that's largely how it works. Single-sided Swiss is sick. I'm a big fan of it. But yeah, you just sit down and you play one game in 40 minutes. The 2 that released yesterday. Oh, from me on NSG? Yeah, I intend to. Yeah, there should be a link in the description. So that'll be done once we've done all their publishing. That's mostly it. Hopefully you're well. We'll be back in a couple days. Take care of yourselves. Cobra tried to make Laura run for the 3rd time in the cut. Oh, weird. Wonder why that is. That's probably worth mentioning to someone. Yeah, they just didn't want to combo PD. That's good. That's good. The balance team's up to something for sure. Take care, y'all. We'll catch you on Thursday. Have a good week.